Okay, no time for foolishness today, boy. We really got some heavy-duty stuff to do today, right?
Huh?
Like what? No, we do. We have a lot of things to talk about. First of all, the bottom editorial in the Herald this morning, Hallandale versus Neil Rogers, I guess, is a backhanded piece of support. Very backhanded, very much. It's interesting, the thing where it says the attacks on the city and its older people escalated and became uglier, which is an outright lie because they didn't escalate, they didn't become uglier. And we haven't even talked about Hallandale for the last year and a half, basically, other than the little stuff that we play the shtick. But nonetheless, the bottom line is they've got a right to change stations or turn it off, and I guess, for the Herald, that was really great. Also, there's a letter to the editor in that other famous on-campus paper, which we won't even mention anymore. Eric, who is a junior at UM, we thank Eric for his thoughtful and sensible letter.
Good letter.
Lida Longa in the Sun Sentinel has an article, Hallandale seeks crosswalk to curb jaywalkers.
Huh.
Which I think is really, the commission agreed to spend $13,000 to erect a 4-foot-high wooden fence and 3 crosswalks between Northeast 14th Avenue and Lane Boulevard that were installed in April of '88. After 6 pedestrians were killed as they tried to jaywalk across East Hallandale Beach Boulevard, 2 more killed in January of '87, and 2 more in June. But I guess that was just a big joke that we were talking about people getting killed jaywalking in Hallandale. We were hallucinating again. Also, I've got a letter here from Martin from BCC, whose handwriting is just like Adam from Hollywood.
Now, this is the letter.
Who talks about my poor grammar. I was going to read it, and then I'm sitting here and I thought to myself, boy, that handwriting looks so familiar. And then Adam from Hollywood, who keeps writing to tell me that I say grotesque too often, and then on alternate days writes that I don't say it often enough. So, Martin/Adam, thank you so much for your thoughtful letter, but we just don't have time to get into it today, okay? Also, yesterday, one of the true radio slime balls in the history of this industry was appearing on the Steve Kane show, and I was listening to it on my way home, and then in the house I turned it on until he left just to see how often the attacks would occur. There are some people, if you could be talking about brain surgery in Siberia, and they would somehow manage to drag me into the conversation. Rick Siderman is one of those people. The word through the grapevine is, and I'm not saying this to promote him, I'm saying it because I have some comments to make about it. Word through the grapevine is that WJNO, which is losing, and I don't know whether I should use that word losing, their afternoon drive guy, Jeff Charles, who stays about 4 or 5 weeks at every station that he works at and either leaves of his own accord or is asked to leave. The word is that Mr. Siderman allegedly is going to be replacing him up there, or at least that's the rumor.
Boy, what
if that
rumor.
Is true, it's going to be great for us because he'll give me more publicity in Palm Beach County than I've ever had, because I'm sure that he'll never be able to allow a day to go by without doing his usual personal vitriolic attack against me.
No question.
It was interesting with Bob Kunst here yesterday, how the two of them have kind of become soul brothers. See, Steve takes all of these unrelated douchebags, these chronic regulars, and kind of ties them all together. And so it really doesn't get any different. It doesn't make any difference what the principle is anymore. It's just the common thread that they all have is that they hate me with a passion, which is why Steve once upon a time was so friendly with a certain attorney of ours who isn't too fond of me. And now that I'm here is finding himself on the other side of the fence. But at any rate, Siderman made his usual obnoxious attacks yesterday. And I'm not going to dignify by defending or responding, but I will just say this. For Rick Siderman to call me or anyone else a bigot is one of the most incredible jokes in the history of the human race, okay? Here is one of the most virulently homophobic people I have ever met in my life. And, of course, now with Mr. Kunst here, who's his newfound pal, his male bonding buddy, if you pardon that expression, he denies that he's homophobic. It's just that having met Neil Rogers suddenly made him like this. Well, I got news for you. I've spent about a total of 5 minutes of my lifetime in the presence of Mr. Siderman, other than one show that he appeared on as a guest at WINZ. I think he was a guest, if I can recall. Oh, yes, he came as a guest representing the Republican Party of Dade County. But other than that, outside of that program, I've spent a total of 5 minutes in his presence. I think that time was when he walked into the studio here when... were you on with me that day, or Tom Jicka? When I was on with Steve before we came on the air here?
Yeah, I wasn't here.
And came in and picked up the microphone and invited himself to be on the show.
Yeah, I missed that.
But other than that, Rick Siderman doesn't know a damn thing about me. I've never spent any time with him, thank God. I have no intention of doing it. Even though when I first came here, I was being pressured by a certain party to become part of that little coterie of misfits. And, here's a guy who is an out-and-out homophobe. I think he even challenges Mike Thompson in that category, and that's really saying a lot.
Good Lord.
Because Mike Thompson in this community is one of the real champions. There are some others, but I think Siderman is right in there.
Mm-hmm.
And back in the days when Shirley Spellerberg was on WKAT, and then with the late John Broward on 2 or 3 different stations, he continued his vitriolic homophobic attacks against me and against the gays in particular. But now, of course, he just discovered that it's only against me, since he's found a good buddy in Mr. Kunst. Mr. Kunst, of course, never defends anyone if they don't happen to be one of his underlings. And since he only has about 3 or 4 underlings, obviously they are the only people who are involved in so-called gay rights, et cetera, et cetera. But it's not worth going into a long thing about, but I did hear it. And I was not surprised, okay, because the man is just unable to control himself. And evidently the reason Steve was unable to control himself yesterday, because with these rumors spreading that this individual very shortly is going to be having his own show, and we know the people at JNO certainly wouldn't allow him to even call in because they're so paranoid up there. They won't even let Lee call in on this show.
Mm-hmm.
So that was his last gasp of having Mr. X on the show. And believe me, 50 cents will buy a real cool cup of coffee, okay? It's 12 minutes past 10 at WIOD. Also, Craig was here yesterday. We had a great day, and I really hope that he lands something very soon. I hope he doesn't wind up out on the street for a long period of time like some other friends of mine in the business, because he's too nice of a guy and too good of a talent to deserve being out on the street. And the reason I mention that is because here, allegedly, they got an opening at J&O, and they're going to hire a guy who at best has been a weekend and fill-in person, ultra right-wing, virulently homophobic, and I guess he fits in with a J&O mentality up there with a pattern of what they want to appeal to. But here, Stan Major's out of a job, Craig Worthing's now available, and they're going to put a guy like that on. So it goes to show you what kind of
typical
folks they are up there and what this business is all about, okay?
But you're right, he will do entire series about you.
Oh, no question about it.
Entire
Because
weeks.
he is obsessed.
Yeah.
He is obsessed with a hatred toward me that is just beyond belief, just as some of Steve's other friends and guests are obsessed with that same hatred. As I said, that seems to be the common thread that ties them together. I don't want to mention Ellis because, well, no, it's obvious. I mean, there was a show about a year and a half ago, at least I got wind of it when we were on, I think we were on Zeta, maybe on INZ. And my name came up, of course, as it so often used to on that show, as it even did again yesterday in a conversation. And Ellis became, allegedly, this is what we were told, became so emotional and apoplectic of discussing me that he had to walk out in the hall and take a little breather because he was so hysterical about me. I have no idea why, although the common thread again seems to be homophobia. And I don't think he would deny that because his track record on that in this community is legendary. Anyway, it's 10:13. We're going to be on that Channel 7 thing, Inside Story, at 7 o'clock tonight for probably about 30 seconds. Right now, if your car is looking...
OD. And now, a day in the life of Neil Rogers.
Wait a minute. Stop this cart. Now, if these people are going to keep giving us these carts that are so loose... This is from our friends Chronic Productions, which is the board ops who have nothing better to do than play little games, and we just appreciate it so much. But, it fits right in with this week. This has been a technical week on this station that's like an ongoing nightmare. I mean, I just can't believe that all of this has been going on. And I love the... have you noticed in the news now that Bob Soper is like in a little box? Remember Senior Wences? He used to have the little head in the box. Yeah, and every time anybody starts doing the news, Soper starts talking, except when they call for him, then he's not there. But when they're doing the news, all of a sudden Soper, it's mostly freezing today and all of that stuff. It's just, what a week this has been, boy.
Yeah.
Incredible. Anyway, before we get to anything else, we have something monumental here, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't happen too often, but in fact, probably we won't get any calls today because our whole audience is retired now. And they're off to spend their riches. But yesterday, we continue plugging away in spite of our bad racing luck at Gulfstream. And the Bird in the fifth race gave you heavy chalk, 9 to 5, or 8 to 5, vanities, but he won wire to wire, basically.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Won by 2 lengths, paid $5.20. And then, if you would have bet 100, let's see, let me figure out a parlay. Has anybody got a pen? No, we don't have a pen.
No.
Well, let me try to do it in my mind. If you would have bet 100 to win on vanities, that would be 260. If you would have parlayed, let's say just bet 200 of that on Feline of Pain with Pazoo in the sixth race, which I gave out yesterday, you would get it in 1,480.
God.
So you'd wound up with almost $2,000 for your 200 if you would have parlayed those two races that we gave in the 5th and the 6th. Feline of Pain, $14.80. How do you like that?
Unbelievable.
Huh?
Unbelievable.
So we really got you rich yesterday if you had any brains at all. And then, of course, the main thing, a hot tip on the horses from Vinny. Yeah, Vinny. Vinny. Yeah. Come on, Vinny. We're on the radio here. We don't have time for you schmoozing there. What's the story?
Okay, listen. You ready for this one now?
Yeah.
Okay. In the 7th race.
Okay, wait a minute.
Island Escape.
Island Escape in the 7th. It's going to be, what are you talking about in the 7th race? That was yesterday.
Oh, wait a minute. Wrong one. Hold
that
on.
Was yesterday. He ran, by the way, Vinny, he ran second. Vinny. Is he gone?
That was a hot tip.
He's gone, yeah. Thanks a lot, Vinny. Hot tip. He ran second, baby. He was heavy chalk, and he got beat. What a douchebag, Vinny. I'll give you an even better one in the 2nd race yesterday. Bitteroo with Nunez, 18-20. I'll even tell you what it'll pay, okay? I like these people. And my buddy Mike Gonzalez in the 4th race, Nurse on Call. He'll pay $10.20, okay? It's like the woman that called that day, and we gave her all the horses from the previous day. She wanted the previous days. She was going out there, and we gave her all the winners.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
They're my favorite.
Anyway, what was I about to say before Vinny called with that great tip? There's a hot tip for you, ladies and gentlemen. In the 7th race yesterday, Island Escape. He might get beat, but I personally like Blonde in a Motel myself with Perrette for $7 in the 7th race. Anyway, what was I starting to do before we got sidetracked there? I was going to talk, of course, at length about the Channel 7 piece, which I'm ecstatic about. It was on last night. Somebody is not too happy because his face kept getting blocked out.
Totally ignored.
Well, see, what you're forgetting is that the guy who did the piece is from upstate New York, so he was getting even with you. That's correct. He was getting even with you for all the nasty things that you've done to upstate New York people, and you were just, every once in a while, you'd see like a little piece of the bird in the background.
Yeah.
Fat Rich was there prominently in the foreground. But,
over and over and over again.
So you're just jealous is what it boils down to. It was a sensational piece. It wasn't good. It was sensational.
I agree.
Because they didn't rip anybody, to be honest with you, which is so unusual.
As far as these pieces go, it was good, but...
No, great. What?
4.
Oh, Vinny's back? Yeah.
Vinny's back.
What do you want?
All right, listen, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. Fabulous Fanny in the 7th race today. It's going off 6-1.
Fabulous Fanny with Mike Gonzalez. That's a Tamaro horse.
You're going to win a lot of money. I got to go. I got people here. Goodbye.
Bye, Vinny. Fabulous Fanny in the 7th.
But my point is that you would have thought...
Wait a minute. Aren't you impressed? He just gave us a horse at 6-1 in the morning line. With Mike Gonzalez, no less.
I'm impressed with his first tip.
Yeah, I like the first one a lot better.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still making a desperate drive in a stretch, Vinny, but I don't think he's going to quite get there. Okay, we got to do a little break here. Let's do things on time and try to run it. Now, let me just see something, okay? All the people that saw the piece on Channel 7 last night, can we see a little emotion on the phone here? Because yesterday, I needed that piece last night, to be honest with you, because the show yesterday was, the callers were so bad that I think we set new low. Now, look at this. Look at this. The 3 lines in Dade were already lit. There's one.
One person saw it.
There's a Boca. I'm not going to give you the numbers. You know what the numbers were already, okay? Don't play this hard to get. There's 7. Oh, there they go, yeah. Boy, you people, they're as sharp as a matzo ball today, let me tell you that. It's 11 past 10 at WID. If I have to hear any more James Taylor and Johnny Rivers records, man, I mean, enough is enough. Anyway, we're just talking about the business here. Johnny Dark is here, not to be on the air, just to eat, of course, because, well, look, we feed unemployed radio people on this show. We have a long-standing record of doing that. We believe in that. By the way, if you've got some blankets and sweaters, the Camilla's house. No, I'm not joking about this. They need them desperately. They ran out of blankets last night.
Did they?
And tonight's going to be even colder than last night, which I think should be illegal in this state. But so if you've got some blankets and sweaters, either of the above or both, take them on down. Call the Camilla's house and make arrangements to get them down there before tonight because they desperately need them, okay? Okay, it's 10:15. I can't believe this. All the lines are lit. As soon as I mentioned Johnny Dark's name, they lit up like a Hanukkah bush because they were afraid that we were going to talk to Johnny on the air. It was kind of like the old, remember the Mike Spindell syndrome? Mike was tremendous for that. You could be sitting here dying, not have a call on the board, and mention that Mike Spindell just came in, and every line would light up, not to talk to Mike, but just to avoid that Mike would get on the air, okay, just to make sure that we would take calls.
True. That's a
so
true
anyway,
story.
Channel 7, I thank them profusely. That was a good segment on Inside Story. Is that the right name of the show?
Correct.
Inside Story was on last night. And it was the longest piece. It was the last piece, but it was a long segment.
4 or 5 minutes.
Oh, are you out of your mind? It was about much longer than that.
Longer than 5 minutes?
About 7 or 8 minutes.
Holy,
which on television is like, oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
Guaranteed. And they had Sonny Rosenberg on there. Sonny, would you like to see my hate mail? I'd be more than happy to show you. He gets one anonymous card there, which was a horrendous thing with swastikas on it. And right away the suggestion is, well, the comedy has gone too far. How'd you like to see my hate mail, Sonny, from the last 13 years? See, the problem with Sonny is like typical of Hallandale. No sense of humor. None. Zero. Taking himself too seriously. And, of course, if he could ever... Did you see those bifocals that he wears? They're as thick as the Mount Palomar telescope. So maybe that's part of the problem.
Okay, I agree it was a good piece, but I do want to say just one thing.
Oh, here we go.
That's right.
Are you going to embarrass and humiliate yourself in front of the entire audience and be childish and juvenile because you didn't get on? It wasn't a piece about you, or it wasn't really even a piece about the show. It was about me.
I understand that. And
I mean,
it was
you
a good
bustled
piece.
your way into a lot of other things, and and when they showed the thing at INZ, not only were you on there, but even Mark Kuhn was on there, which was my only complaint about the piece, the fact that we had to see Mark Kuhn. And did you notice how fat I was in that thing at INZ? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Boy, I had a pupik the size of Mount Rushmore, the size of Arlene Ross's butt. Go ahead. Go ahead and do it. I'm not going to interrupt.
No, I'll sound like sour grapes.
Oh, well, see, I've been trying to avoid you doing that. You're part of the show, so if we get some free publicity, when you work for this station, you got any publicity you get is a bonus. By the way, John, thank you so much for the beautiful business cards. This is one of Steve's listeners, by the way. This is the guy who was in here with the Space Queen, Nadine, or whatever her name was.
That's right.
He has sent me business cards that are so shocking. Now, when we go, let's see, a week from tomorrow, I think, or Sunday, we're going to be at Toyota Hollywood, Steve and I. I'm going to sign these just to get rid of them. We got 1,000 pink cards, and what they say is Neil. That's all it says in little tiny print. It looks like the size of the WNN audience on there. That's how small it is. But, John, thank you so much. They're beautiful. And the pink, of course, adds a little touch that I couldn't do myself. We got a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I just wanted to tell you, I saw that piece last night, and you were terrific.
Wasn't I, though?
I thought it was very fair. I thought it was up front, didn't knock you. It just told things the way it was, and only thing, the Bird should assert himself a little more. Maybe it'll give him a little more coverage, you know?
Exactly. If he would have just stood up and said, hey, you jackass, I'm over here, too. Why don't you take a, couple of shots of me? But he just sat there, as usual, just being oblivious.
We saw him cackle, and that was fun.
By accident, yeah.
Yeah. Also, if you see Boone today, tell him I ate there again last Friday after I heard you talk about it. It was our second time there, and it was terrific.
Siam's Doll, you're correct.
Siam's Doll. The only thing is, every time I'm there, everybody's there for the first time because they heard about it on your show.
Well, there's no problem with that. That's the idea. That's what it's all about.
Keeps running out of curry pop.
Oh, that's great stuff, boy. Well, we got Taft Street coming in today. Joe is going to bring a little feast for everybody in the building, and we got pizza from Jupiter. And we got dessert from Uranus. We got kind of a interplanetary feast here today.
Okay, I'm looking forward to eating there, too.
You have a great day. Oh, God. I'm not touching that line with a 10-foot pole. 10:19 at WIOD. We have an opening in Boca. Now, this is more calls than we had all day yesterday, isn't it?
Well,
yesterday was just a day not to be
calls.
here.
Yeah, real
How do you know they're legitimate? Well, no, you're right. One. That's correct. That's more than we had all day yesterday. Mm-hmm. In fact, once we should have left after my neighbor called, right in the beginning of the show. Oh, also, can't disclose it today because it was off the record, but I was just told some very interesting and positive news from the University of Miami.
Really?
Some information that'll be coming out in a couple of days. 20 minutes after 10 at WIOD, we got a mobile in Palm Beach. Hello.
Hey, Snell, what's happening?
Hey, I told you we had some good calls here.
Long time now. And I want to ask you something. I be my friend's mobile, see, I be fine, and he don't know I have his mobile phone.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, how can there ain't be no brothers that has a talk so like yours, man? I be tired of listening to your white ass. You know what I mean? You're cool dudes, brother, but some brothers talking like that.
Okay, Nipsey, have a nice day. 20 past 10 at WIOD. The Palm Beach line is open. That's one of the best calls we've had on the Palm Beach line in a long time, by the way, which should really tell you a lot. 655-9463, 655-WIOD. I bet you the people at JNO are really pissed, too, the fact that we were on Channel 7 actually penetrates, it leaks into Palm Beach County. And if anybody up there saw it in Palm Beach, they're really going to be paranoid over there because JNO, they want to be the only station on the air. They want to be the only guests on the air. They don't, they're not selfish or anything. They just want everybody else to go away. And then they still only have a 10 share, which I don't understand. If they were the only station, they would have a 10 share, which means the other 90% of the people would just go on protest. Hey, listen, talking about a great restaurant. I don't know if you've ever eaten. I mean, you talk about unglued. Anyway, it's 23 past 10 at WIOD. Johnny Dark is here. And look at this. Now, what is this? If this is what I think it is, I'm going to be very excited. It is. Oh, boy. Bob Savage, you're a wonderful American, a great guy. And here it is. It's my pass to Hialeah. Boy, am I excited about that. Let's see. Hialeah opens on March the 5th. It should be, shouldn't it? No, it's March 8th.
Mm-hmm.
March 8th. And runs through May 28th. And I can't wait for that. I was going to say I love Gulfstream, which I do, and I love Hialeah. Not the city so much, but I love the track and the flamingos. Mm-hmm. And the racing.
Beautiful.
And it is beautiful. It's breathtaking, magnificent. And, well, look at that. Actually, 2 passes for the price of 1. Well, I'll sell one here on the air before the show is over. Okay, it's 10:24 at WIOD. Miami, hello.
Neil.
Yeah.
You looked really good on TV last night.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I tell you, that lady, she had it in for you.
What lady is that?
The one who wrapped the story.
Oh, yeah.
She, seemed to think that you were going to spend some time in jail, or she wanted you to spend time in jail.
No, that wasn't her. That was somebody else we know in Radioland, not her.
Well, I just thought I'd show you some support and give Hallandale hell. That old man, I tell you.
That old man, Sonny, boy, just keeps rolling along, doesn't he?
He was a riot.
Yeah, he's a panic. Well, it's nice to know. I think he's appropriate for Hallandale. I mean, let's face it, if they had a teenager for mayor in Hallandale, it wouldn't quite fit,
Okay, keep it up, Neil.
Okay, I'm trying.
Bye.
Bye. Now, look at that. We've had 3 calls in a row, and now the second one was good for a couple of laughs. This guy sounded young and human and fairly rational. I can't believe this. No, seriously, have you ever been able to figure out, all the years you've been in the business, of course, you don't do talk shows, you play music, so you don't have to depend on the callers, but you've seen the way it happens. It comes in waves.
Yeah.
Now, here we got 4 million people within the sound of our voice, no 2 of whom have anything in common whatsoever. They don't speak to each other. They hate each other. But when it comes to the way they respond, and this, from the first month I was at KET, of course, in the beginning there's the honeymoon period. Oh, you're a breath of fresh air. But after a couple of weeks, surely, then there were those days when nobody on the station could buy many calls. Now, is there anything logical that explains that to you? No. But it's true. It's true. It comes and goes in streaks. And I noticed yesterday it was a very, very bizarre day. And, Monday and Tuesday we sat down here, never had to give the numbers out. And again today, for whatever reason, they're making a gigantic comeback. Like they're getting their last wind.
Oh, yesterday was like the worst since we've been here.
Like I said, their last wind.
I felt bad about yesterday as well.
Is his mic on, by the way? It is?
It is? He
I
talks
don't
so
hear him.
low.
I'm not speaking into the mic.
No, he talks real low.
Wait a minute.
In the background.
Yes, what? Yeah, I'm there.
Oh, you're there,
I'm
yeah.
there.
Just like off in the
background,
distance.
yeah.
Well, those disc jockey types, they like intone way off in the background because they want to hear their voice bouncing off the mic.
Didn't you say yesterday it was going to be just a very short piece on Channel 7?
I thought so, and I thought.
And so I didn't watch it
job.
because you said it was going to be real
short.
short.
You didn't watch it?
No.
Well, I do happen to have it on videotape, and for $5 a seating, I'll be more than glad to allow you to watch.
Well, you don't watch 7. You have this strange protest.
Oh, KT is in the control room again. Now, Marvin, don't speak to him. Just pretend he's not there. Okay, ignore him. Don't tell him what time any spots are on the log, because sometimes we have to move him around a little bit, and he gets his clients all emotional and it was not at the right time. We give him a 3-minute spot, okay, and right away, it's not on at the right time. See, we don't do these spots, KT, for you or the client. We do them for the audience so they can go in there and spend their money and have all those delicious meals and whatever else it is they're buying. Don't tell them anything, Marvin. Make it up. Make up a time. Tell them we already did it. Tell them we already did the spot. Don't tell them anything, okay?
Oh, there he goes.
Tell them to pick a time out of a hat. Good. We got rid of him.
Salesman.
Okay, it's 10:28 at WIOD, and we want to welcome Dennis Collins over at WNWS. We're sure he's monitoring today. We want to welcome all the people over at Winds and Zeta. We know that they're listening. Say hi to Stan and Lori, who are on their way up the coast for a little trip today.
Mm-hmm.
Who else do we want to speak to? Certainly all the people at the big stations, like the Motivation Station, WKAT. All of the people who sit inside the automation machines on some of the famous stations. We want to say hi to them. Because we know as soon as we have some numbers here, man, we're going to just puke them out on the air all through the show.
Yeah, Bill Wise is here, too.
Especially want to say hi to Rose Folger, because I know that he gets the numbers secondhand from Mark Kuhn. He'll probably get them faster from us. Okay, let's go to Miami. Hello. Miami.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm calling up here from Franklin Aviation out here next to the Miami International Airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I'm calling about is they're trying to close Chalks down, take them off of Watson Island. Chalks Airlines, they've been there since 1930.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, don't you think?
Yeah. It's a real bummer.
Yeah. We make all their parts for them is what we're doing up here.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they ought to do that.
I'm with you, pal.
Yeah? All right, thanks a lot, man.
Okay, man. Bye. Great call.
Good one.
It was. No, it was. It was good. He's got a point. I agree with him. They're really trying to screw up this town. And by the way, Bryant Gumbel, get out of town already, will you? And take that big fat Willard Scott with you, too. Bunch of douchebags there. They come in here, they bring all the cold weather from the north. That's why we got this cold snap, because of the Today Show.
That's right.
Don't blame my pals over at CBS. They're good folks, okay? Came down for Doral. They're great folks. It's NBC, and the Peacock flew it down here with them, all the cold weather. So take it back where you came from, Jane and Bryant, and especially Willard. That Willard. I've got to tell you, they did a piece this morning, Jane Pauley did it, on the Keys, and they had an environmentalist on and some developer. They were on, and here these poor guys, they get all dressed up in their suits, and they come all the way up here and all of this, but they were on a matter of seconds.
TV.
And like in the middle, but the point is, before they came on, they had Willard Scott outside with the Cliff, what's his name from Channel 4, the weather guy with the road map on his face. And they're yucking it up and laughing and bouncing around, and they're using Willard's head as a bowling ball and just, you know, and all kinds of time. Nothing about the weather, of course, because Willard doesn't really do the weather. He's just a clown. And they must have done 3-4 minutes of that crap. And then these poor guys come on, and they're trying to do an intelligent piece, and they each said maybe 20 seconds worth of whatever. And Jane says, well, and of course, we thank you so much for sharing that with us, and we'll be back at 8:44 on Today on NBC. They weren't on for a minute between the two of them, okay? And I'm not exaggerating, not for a minute. And their priorities on that show are so screwed up, man. I mean, who are the people producing that crap?
Happens all the time. She doesn't listen to what the guest says either.
Right.
Well, you don't have time to listen to what the guest's saying because they're all goosing her like, hey, it's time to get off, man. The Peacock is goosing her, which is why she always looks under duress. If you were being goosed for an hour and a half, you'd be under duress, too. It's 10:31 at WIOD. Bryant, 10:37 at WIOD. So those are the first numbers off the computer. WIOD, a 4.8 to a 4.7, so that's basically flat.
Yeah.
We don't know what we did in this day part yet. We'll find out shortly. And GTR over there went from, what did he say, a 2.8 to a 3.9?
Something like that.
Yeah. So they evidently straightened out that fluke month that they had when they interviewed only people under the age of 3. Anyway, we have an open line in Broward, 524. Well, it does happen, you know, those diary fallouts. That's what the Rose has been saying for 2 years now, but somehow they just aren't buying it anymore. Open line in Broward, 524-9463, 524-WIOD, West Palm Beach. Hello.
Yeah, Neil, this is Ray from Port St. Lucie. And I got my wife hooked on your show. She's probably listening right now.
What's her name, sir?
Lynn. She's a visiting nurse.
Lynn?
Lynn. She loves you.
How you doing, Lynn?
Anyway, you know, you're talking about Brian Gumbo and them, and I call him Brian Gumby. And they got such a corny setup. They always start the show with a real serious conversation for about a few seconds. And then what you were saying, like one day they said, well, we're going to have this thing about crayons being poisonous, you know? And so I got kids, and I was thinking, oh, I can't wait to hear this. But they started to talk a lot of bull on there. And they never even got to it. And to this day, I don't know.
Well, that's because Willard was doing a 6-minute routine.
Yeah, but anyway, they ought to replace those people.
Well, the show is doing very well. Don't you understand?
Yeah, it's number one.
It's great in the morning for whatever. Well, first of all, part of the reason they do great is because Kathleen Sullivan is busy getting ready to cry on CBS. And when you get up in the morning, you don't want to look at somebody who looks like she's been crying for a half hour.
Yeah.
She always looks like she's been crying or she's about to cry. She's got that sad look. And, of course, the guy who's with her, Harry Smith or whatever his name is, he has that typical CBS pseudo-intellectual look that most of America can't relate to at all. He looks like a college professor or something. America doesn't want to see that. They want to see a wacko like Willard Scott.
Yeah, most of the TV stuff is just trash anyway. You know,
That's
it's
correct.
such a waste.
You love every minute of it.
But anyway, you got a great show, and you know, keep up the good work.
Okay, say hi to all my pals in Port St. Lucie. Okay?
I sure will.
And tell them there's a big sheet sale this weekend.
All right.
See you later. 10:40 at WIOD. We have an opening in Palm Beach, which has been pretty damn active already. 655 WIOD. Don't you think we ought to be getting something tangible now?
What do you mean?
I mean, Mike Disney just came in and he smiled and puked and did a little tap dance here, but shouldn't we be getting like a copy of something? Shouldn't we have like Sharon or somebody running up and down the hall so that we can have this breaking news?
It'll break. It'll break. Just be patient. It'll
I'm
break.
not trying to be pushy or anything, but I just we like to have it as it's coming off the computer.
Well, this will be of interest to you, John. In USA Today this morning, the title is The Veal Thing, and it says the Cincinnati...
Was that about Veal Rogers?
The Cincinnati Clarion Hotel announced yesterday it has removed veal from its menu because of the conditions under which calves are raised. According to People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, many veal calves are chained by the neck in 22 by 56-inch crates. Robert Hobie, the manager, says, I'm sure if our guests knew how the calves spent their lives... They would want veal.
You're not going to want to continue with that when you hear this.
End.
When you hear this. When you hear this. Do you want to hear it? Sharon just brought in a bulletin from the computer. 12-plus numbers. WIOD overall 4.8 to a 4.7. Probably part of the area where we went down was on a weekend with the Dolphins going out. Although, I don't know, with that antique show, we ought to be pretty strong on a weekend. WNWS overall went from a 3.6 to a 3.2. So we beat them by 1.5 points. They're dropping like a rock. Paul Simon is singing like a rock. Middays on WIOD, we went from a 4.6 to a 5.8.
My.
Nice. Congratulations.
Good.
WNWS
Lord.
midday. Sandy! Oh, Sandy's dropping like not like a rock, like a, what do you call a meteorite, okay? That's how heavily she's dropping, from a 3.9 to a 3.2. Remember when Sandy was doing 4s and 5s in midday because she was unopposed virtually?
She was unopposed.
By the way, did you hear my story about the dean in Philadelphia is doing so poorly that the GM and the sales manager were both fired at WCAU because they were the ones that brought him up there? Doing that bad.
The dean.
Can't understand it either. And now the news that you've all been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen.
You do have a bulletin.
I was 0.2 of a point off, by the way, in my prediction. I was a little high. I wish we had. You know what we need? That dramatic.
If we ever
we don't have the dramatic organ music, but we do have this. Okay. The Colonel, ladies and gentlemen, on WZTA. We left them a 5.5 share. In just one book, the Colonel cut it in half to a 2.8. But now that he lost our last month there, here it is. I can't even bring myself to say it. A 1.6 in the morning on Zeta. From a 5.5 in one book and one trend to a 1.6, I think unprecedented in the annals of radio history, ladies and gentlemen.
I've never seen anything like it.
Incredible. Shocking. And they've turned the corner at Zeta.
Yeah.
A 1.6.
God. From a 5.4?
And that was a group, there was a special group at U Totem that they had the diaries for the Colonel show, and other than that, they couldn't find anybody. That 1.6, that could be, well, it's right in there with the all-time records. We'd have to go back and check them out.
I would
The Colonel. Boy, Bill Wise was crying in the halls when we lost the Colonel to Zeta. And he said to me, I don't think we can ever bounce back on GTR. So they got to really be dancing at Kazansky next door here because they went from a 2.8. They got screwed in that 1 month, which happens once in a while.
Sampling.
But they're back up to a 3.9. They're knocking everybody dead over on GTR. And the Colonel from a 1.6.
God. Remember...
Now, wait a minute. Joey, you see, you should have stuck it out, Joey, at She. They should have left you on. Now Joey'd be in the ballpark, okay? Because Joey's doing 1.5, 1.6. And I think Joey could beat the Colonel, okay? I mean, pretty close, but I think Joey could do it.
Wait, do you remember when we went to Zeta? We started with a 1.7.
Joey had a lot to say about you, by the way. No, it's just a joke.
We started with a 1.7, which we thought was as low as it possibly could go. 1.7.
In a year we got it up to a 5.5. We're number one.
Yeah.
Incredible demographics, and now they have a 1.6 share. We started out here with a 3, and in one book, well, minus 2 weeks. We were not here the first 2 weeks of this trend. Okay, it still has 2 weeks of the Dean carried over on it. So from by 3 to a 5.8, which is just about doubling the audience.
But don't forget, you lost Paul Harvey in there, too.
Well, we did lose Paul Harvey, which made it we probably would have done an 8 or a 9 if we'd had Paul Harvey. But we'll settle for that for the time being. That's incredible.
Boy, that's going to make some people apoplectic.
W Snooze. Boy, what a day this is, huh? Goes to show you how volatile this situation is. Yesterday, I was ready to blow my brains out after that horrible show, and today, we're going to do it. Hey, look at this. Here's a guy paying from the call from Vegas. Hello.
Oh, hey, Neil.
Hey, I didn't see you were sitting there. I'm so
That's
sorry.
all right. I was happy to listen to you.
Well, we had some good news there, didn't we?
You're so popular out here. I was playing...
In Vegas. I ought to be. They got enough of my money.
That's right. It's Caesar's Palace, and this lady, I hear her call someone an old fart.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked her, I says, where are you from? She says, Deerfield.
Yeah.
I says,
Well, she can relate to it.
I says, you ever heard of a guy named Neil Rogers? She says, sure, I listen to him all the time. And so you're popular out here as well.
Well, that's great.
The town's beginning to hop. There's a big fight tomorrow.
Yeah.
Some guy
Tomorrow
named
night.
Bruno's getting ready to take the $10 million dive, so I thought I'd come out here and spend a few bucks.
You making any money?
Yeah, I did pretty good yesterday. I met a nice girl. You know, it's easy to tell the hookers in the hotels here. They're the only girls that are friendly to you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they were having a great time, and your show's as popular as ever out here. They tape it and
I was going to say that the only girls aren't looking for a big tip, but I'm not so sure of that.
yeah, that's true. Well, they just had a nurses' convention here.
Yeah.
I got here yesterday, and the nurses' convention was just winding
Well, that
down.
kind of ties right in with what I was saying, yeah.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Well, I'll be damned. So have you eaten at any great restaurants? Since
Yeah, I
you've been out there?
had dinner at the Osso Steakhouse in
so.
Caesars. That was great. And,
Hey, by the way, have you ever eaten at that great French restaurant in the Tropicana, the name of which I can never remember? God, is that a great place?
No, I don't remember.
It'll come back to me any second now or any hour.
Okay, well, I'll just
boy, they
wait
got
here.
a super... I'm telling you, go down to the Tropicana, make some reservations, and go up there if you want to spend... If you get lucky and make some bucks. It is tremendous.
And it's an Italian restaurant?
No, it's a French restaurant.
A French restaurant.
The best.
Well, they keep building and building here. The hotels, I've been out for a while.
Well, listen, we got Bryant Gumbel here. I mean, they got all the tourists out there in Vegas, but we got Bryant Gumbel and Willard Scott. We don't need anything else here.
Yeah,
We've turned the corner, like Zeta.
That's it. I'm glad to hear the
we've
numbers
turned the
are
corner.
so great.
Yeah, they're really doing it, man. I'm proud of them. I think we ought to probably do an entire show one day next week and salute and honor to Zeta.
Yep, that's
One thing to be good, it's another thing to be consistent.
Yeah.
Well, listen, have a great time out there and knock 'em dead.
All right, you're going to knock them dead. That's fight language.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
All right. Well,
Bring us
we're-
back a bushel of money, okay?
A bushel of money. I bring a suitcase full of money.
Okay, bring it over to Carroll City. I think they're going to need it up there.
Carroll City. That's right. That's that resort town to the north of you, right?
That's correct. That's every day is a party up there at INZ and Zeta. Have a good one now.
All righty, so
bye, and say goodbye already. 1047 at WIOD. I can't believe these numbers. I'm just apoplectic.
16.
Make a great promo, wouldn't it?
16. You'll never hear it discussed on that show, let me tell you that. They'll never mention this even in passing. Trust me. It will not be mentioned on that radio station. But we'll mention it. 16. 16. Do you think I'm reveling?
Well, wait a minute. You don't understand. That's the morning show.
I know.
Now, you must understand that they had gone from a 2-4 to a 2-0 in the fall book, including when the morning was still doing a 2-8.
Yes.
Now that the morning is doing a 1-6, that means overall, I bet you she beats him in this trend, okay?
Me too.
Now, when she beats you, that's like a heartbeat away from being off the air, okay?
Good Lord.
We've turned the corner. He just didn't have the right 25 to 54. He had that big audience, but they weren't the people we want.
And now they have done it. It's incredible. Now, if the Colonel is listening, I'm sure, I don't even know the guy. I'm sure he's a wonderful guy. Don't buy a house. That's my suggestion. I've heard the show. Don't buy a house. It's, God, that, I like the fact we did the 5-8. That's a great number, and we thank the audience again. You're incredible, and we're well on our way to God only knows 6s and 7s and who knows what else, especially if they leave us the hell alone. But, I don't know, somehow that number at the bottom of this page there on Zeta, that even, it's not out of vengeance or hostility or bitterness. Well, now that I think of it, it probably is, okay? But, God, if anybody in the world deserves it, and there's some very nice people over there, at least 2 or 3, okay? But, God, if anybody deserves it, what goes around comes around, Tim Williams. That's all I can say to you. Folger's not a bad guy. If you take him out of... If he were, like I said, if he were selling shoes at Jordan Marsh, you think, God, this is a nice guy, okay? In the business, a disaster.
Yeah, no.
But out of the business, a super guy. But it's Tim Williams and that whole group of fakers over there. They're the ones who really deserve everything they can get, okay? So, again, I guess they can thank our mutual buddy down there. We don't want to mention his name on the air, but govern yourself accordingly. But for the fact that created that hostile situation and we got out of there. Oh, geez.
Oh, more.
Oh, look at
more.
this. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go into our break, I want to tell you something.
Boy.
You talk about consistency. Now listen to this. You're gonna freak out. This could be a record in the annals of broadcast history. Zeta 94.9. Let's get that right. In the morning, a 1.6. In the midday, a 1.7. In the BM in the PM, a 1.7. Now that's like a straight line. That's kind of like the Sandy Payton show, okay? Now, let's see. WIOD, 3 to 7 p.m., 3.9 to a 3.7. So Steve was almost flat, about the same. And the big story there was WNWS, Alice from a 3.7 to a 3.0. So Steve beat him by almost a full point, 12 plus. You can imagine the demographics are going to be incredible. 6 to 10 a.m., Ranieri 6.2 to a 5.8. So he was almost a little drop there, which you'd expect after that gigantic fluke book last time.
Still a great book.
But still tremendous number. And Sharon is just, thank you so much. Just pouring in here. Let me do my break, and then we got all the good stuff. Now all the radio people are really gathering around the radio. Get your fireplace heated up, ladies and gentlemen. Get a little wood burning in there. We'll just sit around the old horn here and kind of peruse it together after we tell you that. But anyway, it's 10:54 at WIOD. Now can I just take a few moments because the lines are sizzling there, as somebody I know would say. Right, Stan? The lines are hot. Anyway... Drive carefully now, Stan.
She's morning numbers. Do you have those?
Oh, wait a minute. Well, let's see. This is a 12 plus. Okay, here it is. We got the whole thing right here.
Wow.
12 plus. WIOD with a 4.7. We were tied for third with QBA, so they don't. We threw out the Spanish language. Life had a 7.4, as always. They're number one because they play to dead people, and in this market you can't beat that. Hot. Oh, here's the big story of the book, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they're doing at Power this morning. You're going to be hearing a lot of that throughout the day. There's another one. Hot 105. Keith Isley strikes terror again. And isn't it interesting that Keith Isley was let go or quit from I-95, which is now Zeta 4. Isn't that amazing?
Boy, they can spot the talent.
Okay,
can't they?
When you hear this number, you're gonna just believe me. 7.3.
Good
From a 4.9 to a 7.3.
Good Lord.
A cume of 419,800 people.
Woo.
Shocking.
It is.
Shocking.
Really.
IOD with a 4.7, Power with a 4.1, dropping from a 4.4, Waxy 3.1 to a 3.9. They sounding better. They really are. I hate to say it, but they are. GTR 2.8 back up to a 3.9.
Good.
Radio Mambi a 3.8. Magic, I told you they drop a little bit, not much though, 3.9 to a 3.8. But they're playing a lot of those corny novelty records again, man. I don't want to hear novelty records. Kiss a 3.7. CMQ, Gloves 94, 3.4 to a 3.6. Joy, 3.5. Y, 100, 3.6 to a 3.5. I hope they took a dive in the morning. W Snooze, 3.6 to a 3.2. W Snooze has dropped. I want you to listen to this, okay? If you want to see a pattern, this goes back to summer of 88, okay? June, July, August. WNWS, 5.4. Next trend to 4.8, 4.7, 4.0, 3.6, 3.2.
God.
Is that what you call a trend? WINZ, ladies and gentlemen, from a 3.3 to a 3.1. TMI, a 3. Nobody listens to TMI, just the suits pretend they do. Let's see, WXDJ, 2.4 to a 2.0. I guess some of that fluke from the last month is going to disappear over a period of time. She, overall, from a 2.0. You notice what station we haven't gotten to yet?
I know.
She, a 1.7. WEAT-FM, which is not even in the market, which is in Palm Beach, a 1.6, tied with Zeta 94.9, a 1.6. Listen to this. From a 2.5 to a 2.0 to a 1.8 to a 1.6.
All right, they turned the corner.
Yeah, from when we left, they had their highest book ever at 2.5.
Yeah.
As it follows, the next three trends, 2.0, 1.8, 1.6. Is that a trend?
Unbelievable.
Is that, you think, like a pattern shaping up? FTL, a 1.2, man. There's a hot station. There's a spot on the turnpike. If you're sitting right next to their towers, you can't pick up anything else. And that's where they survey people so they get a couple of diaries. When they have traffic types, they take people in their cars. Say, hey, here's a diary, okay? Fill it out. FTL needs somebody. So Radio Suave, a 1.1. WMBM, a 0.9. Now we got, this is just a jumble, as in jambalaya. Life, of course, beat us in midday with an 8.7, but we were number 2 in the entire market with a 5.8 in midday.
Jeez.
So if you take out Life, which everybody does, we beat everybody.
We're number 1.
Hot with a 5.4. We even beat Hot, which is incredible, of course.
Whoa.
Magic with a 5. This is midday, 10 to 3. Yeah. Joy, Waxy, 4.5. QBA. GTR with a 4 in midday, up from a 3. So in fact, that 4 is the biggest number they've had since summer. Gloves, 3.9 to a 3.7 in midday. W Snooze, San Sandy, who's gone from a 4-2 to a 3-9 to a 3-2 since we've come on. Oh, Sandy, come on, honey. You can do better than that. Come on, Sandy. Give it a shot, would you? We don't want you to leave us. Ever. I mean ever. Power 3-1 to a 2-9 in midday. I don't think there's anything else here in midday. There's nothing going on in midday besides the show. Zeta midday 1-6 to a 1-5. That Gonzer, I got to tell you, he could be on 100 years. He's good for a 1-5. Okay.
What? It says 1-6 to a 1-7 there.
Well, it's a mistake.
Oh.
Well, this is 12 plus.
It was down.
It was a mistake. They went down midday from a 1-6 to 1-5.
I just wanted to make sure that we have
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're sorry about that. The Colonel did beat Gonzer. It was damn close, man. It was right down to the last damn diary, but it was nip and tuck all the way. And then Gonzer, being such a nice guy, said, hey, give it to the Colonel. He needs it, okay? And they're going to give it to the Colonel, I think. Oh, afternoon drive, the number one station in the market, ladies and gentlemen. A salute to Keith Isley. Mm-hmm. That shows you if you need enough of those Martian fish eggs, it'll do it to you sooner or later. An 8 afternoon drive on Hot 105. Here's a man who came and took a station that was just like marginally hanging on and has turned it into a monster just like he did at I-95 until, of course, Stanley Cohen said, hey, I don't understand why you don't come in for our meetings. You're here in the middle of the night like a zombie. He didn't understand that Keith is a distant relative of Bela Lugosi. And, boy, they have blown out some of the most incredible talent over there. I don't want to mention any names, like Stan and Keith Isley and some others. Just fantastic. Tim Williams, God bless you, man. You've done everybody the biggest favor in their lives, okay? Anybody who leaves over there, we have like a gigantic celebration. In fact, Joe is coming in today from Taft Street to cater our gigantic exiting Zeta and Wins party. That's what it's all about. And W Snooze. Also, we have some escapees here. I see Nick sitting in there looking confused and perplexed. Okay, Sharon is racing in. Is there anything just before the news that we should mention? Oh, look at that. 10 to 3 midday. This is Men 18 Plus. Number one, WIOD with an 8-8 on this show. Even beating Lifeless. How do you like that? Stick that in your ear, Dennis. Okay, here's somebody with the news, and we'll come back. WIOD. 11:06 at WIOD, and let's see what we have now as we continue. These are the Arbitron trends. The Arbitrends is there, and when we do these shows, they're strictly for people in the business. The rest of you are superfluous at this point. No, we don't mean that. We've trained the audience. They're into this stuff. They talk ratings lingo.
Yes.
Well, is the book out? Is the book out? This is the only market in America where people ask such questions. Anyway, Men Plus midday had a 2.5, down from a 3.3. Zeta had a 2.7. We were number one in Men 18 Plus in midday with an 8.8. In persons 18 to 34, which is men and women 18 to 34, we were number 6 from a 4.0 to a 5.2. When we get men 18 to 34, it ought to be a pretty gigantic number. The women on Talk, man, almost impossible to get. And we've tried everything but standing on our heads. And they're busy, obviously. Hot had a 12.5 in 18 to 34 midday. GTR a 10.6, Joy, Waxy, Power, and then we had a 5.2. Zeta has gone in one book. We were number one in the morning, 18 to 34. They've gone from number 1 to number 12 with a 2.8. I thought they turned the corner. See, I tried telling them, it's like when you're in a car with somebody and they think they know where they're going, and you say, wait a minminute, you're turning the corner, but this is the corner on a dead-end street. Yeah. They say, no, I know where I'm going. Listen, don't interfere with me. Don't bother me. And they turn, and it's like, it was like Ted Kennedy was driving or something.
Great example.
Yeah, I think at Zeta they have Mary Jo Kopechne disease is what the problem is, okay? They've turned the corner, but they're on their way down, sinking fast in a quagmire of Hmong. Okay? Shocking. Ooh. Okay, now let's see what else. Sharon, and excuse me, those of you on the phone, I'll get to you. Don't panic. I see a couple of people dropping off, which makes me very nervous and insecure. 3 to 7. This is Men 18 Plus. Number 1, Life 6.8. Number 2, Steve Kane, a 6.2.
Great.
Okay. Followed by GTR with a 5.9. Geez. Oh, I'm telling you, this outfit here, they got to be having a gigantic party. Now, Joe, when he comes from Taft Street, doesn't realize it yet, but he's catering our ratings party here, our celebration at WIOD/WGT Filthy R. Hot had a 5.2 in afternoon driving 18 plus men. Magic, a 4.8, down a little bit. See, Magic, I'm telling you, you guys had it made. You were just knocking everybody dead, but you start playing those stupid novelty records again. And if you just would go back to doing what you were doing well, you'd start bouncing back up again. Far be it for me to tell them, but... Okay, let's see. 3 to 7 Men Plus. Do you think that Zeta wins from a 3.1 to a 2.8? Are you listening, Stan? from a 3-1 down to a 2-8.
Mm-hmm.
W Snooze from a 3-4 down to a 2-9 in men 18 plus in the afternoon. Boy, Alice is just taking a swan dive. Y100 from a 3-0 to a 2-4 in afternoon, men 18 plus. She 2-9 to a 2-4. Have we found Zeta? Did I get that number yet?
No.
Oh, yeah, 2-8. Down 2-9 to a 2-8.
Uh-huh.
And that's the name of that tune. Okay, what do we got? 18 plus. Well, now we're getting into individual demographics like at nighttime. We don't want to get into that. What are we trying? Little hand signals there? Is that what that's all about?
Maybe you can.
Okay, Johnny, why don't you do your thing there and do something useful before the food comes? Get a little exercise, John. It can't hurt. Okay, 7 to midnight, men 18 plus. Does this mean anything? Life, hot?
No, not much.
EDR, gloves, wins, 5-3 down to a 4-4, waxy, etc. IOD, 5-1 to a 4-2 at night, men 18 plus. But then there's not a hell of a lot going on. That's not an excuse, but there's not much going on other than Tom Snyder and Rush Limbaugh. So we didn't have too much sports. Anyway, it's 11:09 at WIOD. We'll take a couple of calls here. We have one in Broward, the line open there, 524-9463. The Palm Beach lines are wide open again now, which is shocking. There goes Boca. Palm Beach is 655 WIOD.
Big smile.
Look at that. There's
Big
Spike
smile.
running around looking like he knows what planet he's on, huh? He is just ecstatic. I can't understand why. Well, they took that fluke month out of there, and now both stations are just kicking ass. And what can I tell you? Okay?
Did you see Zeta's morning numbers?
Yeah. Yeah, they really turned that corner, baby. They turned the corner. And we have the tow truck is on its way to pull them out right now. Miami, hello.
Good morning.
Hi.
Congratulations, Neil.
Thank you.
This is Ann.
Well, we're kicking some serious butt, Ann.
I mean, it's great. And I want to congratulate you on the TV program last night. We laughed. It was so good.
It was shocking it was so good.
It really was, because when you said you was going to be on, we thought, well, they're going to do a number on it.
Yeah, like they usually do. But we got, the thing about Channel 7, they know they're close right next door, and that if they didn't number, we could go over there and let them have it,
Right. But it was
No, they were
really
real
good.
nice.
And that Sonny, he is something else.
Isn't he? Well, when you look at him, doesn't it make you think immediately of Hallandale?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think of.
And we saw the bird.
You did?
Just barely, yeah. He sneaked in there.
Yeah, Glenn, you was on. We saw you.
Yeah, they saw you.
I almost
Don't
missed
pout.
it. Really?
Yes, it was good.
Just briefly. They have that very fragile lens in that camera.
No, it was good.
Okay.
And, the ratings are wonderful. Congratulations. And we really enjoyed it.
Well, we're kicking some butt in spite of it all. You know what I mean?
Right. Neil, by the way, did you get a chance to see that tape?
That tape was not the one we were looking for. I appreciated it because there was part of that I hadn't seen. That was the Metro Commission meeting. We were looking for the Hallandale meeting.
No, I told you it was Metro.
Oh, I see. But no, I'm glad to have it because the beginning was part that I hadn't seen where the individual would not sit down and kept rambling on. But I appreciate it.
Right. And how'd you like the one at the community college?
Oh, yeah, that brought back some great memories. Yeah, the good old Dick Capon. Thanks a million, Ann.
Okay, have a
Bye.
nice day.
You too. 12 minutes after, let's see, midday, 25 to 54 persons, 10 to 3, WIOD, 4-5 to a 6-9, number 2 in the market, 6-9. That's persons, men and women. When men comes in, it ought to be real interesting. WNWS, 1-8 to a 1-5. Oh, boy.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's Sandy.
The lowest number in 6 months, they went to number 21 in the market, persons 25 to 54 midday. So not only are they dropping like a rock, but they're aging so rapidly that the supply of Fiber One over there is in desperate straits. They may have a run on Fiber One, if you pardon that expression. That's incredible. 12 minutes after 11 at WIOD, if you want the 11:15, we're still waiting for morning numbers for 6 to 10 a.m. We know Ranieri had a 5-8, so Mike is still right up there at or near the top. That's another tremendous... And he's been doing it for so long. That's the amazing part of it. Book in and book out.
What do you got?
Nobody can figure out. Yes.
I'll tell you about a top, I don't know what our news department is coming to, but this is what they're sending me.
Okay, let's see. Impotence Anonymous.
Oh, it should have gone to NWS,
Came to the newsroom. Well, they must have heard about Henry on his hands and knees on the floor, okay? Look at that. Topic, penile prosthesis. Can we say that on the air? I don't think so. Wow. Gail brought that in, and she was grinning from ear to ear when she brought it in, too. Okay, well, we'll be passing a little more about that later on in the show. And, of course, some of the stations in town who are listening right now, who are obviously ratings impotent, may be interested in attending that seminar, okay?
Very
or
good.
perhaps in a little implant at this point. Okay, let's take a call from Kendall. Hello.
Neil, how you doing?
Hey, we're doing it.
Hey, I've been dancing at Kazatsky for the past 2 days. I put 200 big ones on the pick on the 6th race yesterday.
Did you really?
Yes.
Feline of Pain?
Yes, sir.
I'll be damned.
Wow.
1,480 for 200. I'll take it any day. Did you really put 200 on that horse?
200 right on the nose.
Why? Because I said so?
Yes, you did.
Oh, my God.
It was my second day at Gulfstream that I have ever gone, and I had cashed my check.
Here's a guy's second time he ever went in his life, and he won $1,500.
What the hell, you know?
Exactly. Well, listen, just remember us in your will, sir.
Did you take the picks today? Give the picks, your picks?
No, I didn't, but my pick in the 6th race, B.L. Stryker with Jerry Bailey.
Oh, okay.
No, not 200, okay? Go a little easier. Okay, please. I don't want to get this responsibility.
Okay.
Okay, hang on to it.
Okay, I wanted to say, did Zeta turn the corner and fall into the gutter?
That's correct. They turned the corner, man.
Sure sounds like
Just
it.
like a bowling ball hanging right on the edge, you know. They turned the corner.
That was a great show yesterday on Channel 7. I saw the bird for like half a second.
Yeah. Well, we like to keep him kind of secretive, you know. We give him out in little doses.
Yeah, I heard that laugh, and I go, hey, it's the bird. And then they took it right off, you know.
Lucky he didn't blink.
Yeah. Well, and Sonny, oh, God, Sonny. You see, they had to give him a profile because if they showed his lenses to the camera, it would have melted.
Yeah, that's true. They only showed him from the side, from a distance.
The sun would have gone through his bifocals and melted the camera down, you know.
Okay, you have a good one, pal.
Thanks a lot for the picks, man.
Okay.
I'll have to take you out for dinner one of these days.
I'm with it. Okay. Thanks. 11:18 at WIOD. Look at that. We making these people rich. Let's see. This is what? Weekends, men 18 plus, WIOD 5-5. Boy, that's a big drop. But again, the Dolphins disappeared, so that always happens. 7-2 to a 5-5. But still number 3 behind Life and Hot. Hot went from a 4-8 to a 6-2 on the weekend. This is men 18 plus.
Yeah.
GTR, 3-6 up to a 5-3. I wonder what happened to the men on Zeta on the weekend, because that used to be their big story. The weekend, I'm looking. Wins went from a 3-1 down to a 2-4 on the weekend in men. NWS 2-4 to a 2-4 was flat. She from a 2-8 to a 2-4. And Zeta, a little increase there on the weekend. Here's the story. I knew we'd find a story in the book. 1-9 to a 2-3 in men 18 plus on the weekend. So they do have a little story there, ladies and gentlemen.
They'll be talking
Even
about.
Edgar Allan Poe would be shocked. Poor Sharon, boy, she's getting a workout. We got a lot of food coming in, so don't forget about that. Okay, here's Monday through Friday, 3 to 7 p.m. Persons 35 to 64. Number 1, Life 7.5. That's for all the dead persons out there. Magic a 6.3. CMQ, no speak it English. QBA, no speak it English. So of the English-speaking stations, Steve is third with a 4.9. Person 35 to 64 in the afternoon.
That's good.
Now, where's Snooze? Because that should be their... Well, we don't have a listing for 65 plus friends. No, we don't. We don't get wins 3-0 to a 2-6. I still don't see W Snooze in the afternoon. Oh, here they are. Oh, geez, Al. WNWS Monday through Friday, 3 to 7 persons, 35 to 64. Do you want to hear a trend? Do you want to hear a pattern? June, July, August of 88. 6.2. This is W Snooze. Then a 4-6, 4-6, 3-3, 2-9, and this time a 1-9.
Oh.
19th, from 4th to 19th in just a few short months. Wow. In the afternoon. Steve, again, is 5th overall, 3rd of the English-speaking, and Alice is 19th or 17th of the English-speaking stations. Boy, that's incredible. She a 0.7. All right. Hey, that Tenaglia, man, he's really got his act together over there at She, doesn't he? He's one of the great broadcasters in America.
No question.
And listen to this. Nip and Tuck in the afternoon, 35 to 64. The FMs are not, so we can't rip them for that, can we? We can't?
Well,
a little bit. Okay, so that's what we have so far. I feel like we're doing like election night. See, the elections used to be fun in the old days. Now they got the computers, and Dan Rather comes on in 5 minutes and says, hey, Bush won here, and Dukakis is a jerk, and it's all over, and good night and good luck. And then they analyze it for 6 hours, you know. And that's no fun. I like the old days when they used to, like have each state, they had a little thing up there, and you'd see the numbers of votes changing, and Huntley and Brinkley would look at each other with that stupid look like, what the hell does it all mean? And it was fun. It would go on till the wee hours of the morning. But so I kind of feel like we've returned to those days of yesteryear with the Lone Ranger at WXYZ Detroit.
So for those of you who tuned in late, Zeta got a 1-6 in the morning with the Colonel. From our 5-5, he's now taken it to a 1-6.
Well, mentioning sugar apples, what's the difference between sugar apples and regular apples?
See, I'll tell you what. Now, the reason I played that is that when Ed even made the conversion, when they don't even have Ed over there to kick around anymore, that should tell you that they are really desperate.
God.
In fact, they could use that at this point. They can use anybody who's breathing, and even if they're not breathing at this point, they could use all the help they can get. God, that makes me just... See, I don't usually... For example, W Snooze, when I was at Wynn's, it was nice to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, especially at night during the radio wars when Likas was trying to be Mr. Hotshot, and I just beat the crap out of him like 7-3-1 2 times in a row, or 7-1-3. But during the rest of the time I was there, I never even paid any attention to them because they weren't really a factor. Whatever time period I was on, they weren't a factor. But now... the Zeta thing, it's just because we were forced to leave there in such an unpleasant situation after we had done such a great job for them. And now, they gave everybody the usual rationalization. Oh, yeah, well, don't worry. I mean, Neil was okay, but we turned the corner. We're going to be... And not only that, but they're not even doing what they said. They said one of the reasons they wanted us, they were pleased we were leaving, or they didn't put it that way, but that it would be okay, better, was because now they could be classic rock 24 hours a day.
Consistent.
Well, they're not playing any more music now than they were when we were there. In fact, sometimes they're playing less from what I've heard when I was listening. Remember, some days we get real music intensive once in a while.
Sure.
And of course, they just keep playing the Byrds over and over again, which have got kind of limited appeal. They're like 4 burnt-out, stoned-out hippies from the 60s want to hear the Byrds, and that's about it. Oh, God. Boy, I'm just euphoric.
Me too.
Apoplectic. 23 past 11 at WIOD. It's 11:25 here on Party Day 1989 at WIOD. Steve will be along at 2. Does Steve have a guest today? Oh, yes, he does. Merle Hoffman. Oh, God. Now, did you notice the first segment on that show last night that we were on, Inside Story, was about another one of these guys who... Now, that was a really bizarre story because they weren't really quite sure.
Uh-huh.
This is a guy who everybody thought was a woman but was really a guy or something like that.
This is the new thing on these shows.
Pretty soon they're going to start showing evidence on those shows. But tying right in with that, Merle Hoffman, known as the female Bill Baird. Oh, I see. It's not what I thought it was. Merle runs the largest abortion clinic in the country and is speaking out on what an anti-abortion ruling would mean for ordinary women. She's also a major organizer of counter-demonstrations against Operation Rescue, and also there will be a pro-life guest TBA.
Oh, yeah.
To be announced.
He's a little obsessed with that topic.
With abortion, yes, Steve is. Well, he used to work for WOLD, and since most of what's going on over there now is an abortion, I can understand that. Hey, how you doing, Dennis? Have a great day. Open line in Palm Beach, 655-WIOD, 655-9463. Let's get some of those morning drive numbers in here, okay? And how about those 25 to 54 numbers? And how about men 25 to 54? Boy, I can't wait to see that. That ought to be real interesting. And men 18 to 34.
But is it true now, this trend with that Zeta has in the morning, is it lower than the number Jean Cashman got when she was
you
the
just
Breakfast
couldn't wait
Club?
to say that, could you? You couldn't wait to
Jean
say
Cashman in the Breakfast Club had a 1-7. And Scott and Colonel got lower than that.
1-6.
1-6.
Well, that's a statistical fluke. It's an anomaly.
It is?
An anomaly. Isn't that what you put in your car?
Motor oil.
Hollywood, hello.
Hey, you had a great piece last night, Neil.
It sure was. Well, I had a great piece, huh? Could have fooled me.
The only downside of it was when the bird was on TV for a couple of seconds, he turned his head to the side as if he was ashamed to be seen.
Well, can you blame him?
I don't know. I'm another one of your unemployed radio personalities, but you probably don't know me from Rose Folger's House Cat. I was the last morning guy on She.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
Up until about a month ago.
Yeah?
Yeah, my name is Phil Beck.
Oh, yeah, Phil.
But my history in radio...
I know your brother Jeff.
Yeah, right, yeah. He lets me borrow his guitar occasionally. My history in radio includes working for Lee Fowler when he was a rock jock and a PD up in Virginia.
Hey, listen, if you're ever starving for lunch, Lee, Phil.
You'll have to come down there and hang out. It seems to be the place
we got Johnny Dark here, man. He's getting pretty impatient for the food.
I got another interesting little thing to tell you. The new morning guy for She, who came from California, the first thing he did when he got to town was he bought a house.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
I'm serious. Yeah. I know. My sympathy's exactly for him.
Couldn't you tell him something, you know?
You think that these guys in the business would learn, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
They never learn their lesson.
You'd think so. I also worked for Magic when I first came to town, and they interviewed Keith Isley to be the PD there.
Yeah, I remember. Mm-hmm.
But, of course, his hours were too freaky for them, too.
Yeah.
But, hey, the guy's a success. There's no arguing with that.
He's done incredible. We've got to have a special salute to Keith Isley today. You're right.
I agree.
Okay,
Keith Isley and his brothers. Congratulations, Neil.
Okay, good luck.
See ya.
Bye. Another former radio what? No, this is 18 plus. We have 12 plus. This is adults, okay? Boy, you're just loaded with stuff. This is Oh, here we go. This is ancient people. Well, not ancient. 35 to 64. This is that in-between group. 7 to midnight, okay? 7 to midnight. Number 1, WCMQ, no speak in Inglés. 8-5. Wow.
Ooh.
Life with a 5-7. QBA 5-6. So 2 of the top 3 stations at night, no speak in Inglés.
Jeez.
And then we got, that's QBA FM, Super Q. And then QBA AM is 5th. So 3 of the top 5 nighttime, oh, God. Love at night of 5-5. I can't believe that.
Jazz.
That's 35 to 64, keep in mind.
Yeah.
TMI. Well, see, at night it's kind of like mellow, you know. It's like going to sleep time. TMI 4-8. Wins a 4-2, down from a 4-7, and before that a 5, so they're dropping like a rock.
TalkNet.
A Joy, Wacky, W Snooze. Oh, boy.
Sure.
Wow, 7 to midnight, persons 35 to 64, which ought to be part of their, 65 plus, they got it locked, but 35 to 64 ought to be beginning to be pretty good for them, but at nighttime they drop from a, listen to this, going back 4 trends, 6-1, 5-5, 5-4, and this time a 3-7. Well, I'm going up the Ho Chi Minh Trail and take care of some of these douchebags, okay? WIOD, 7 to midnight. Not too exciting either. 4-6 to a 3-4. Now, maybe if we put somebody live on there at night, I want to start pushing, but we got these great numbers the rest of the day. Can you imagine if we had big numbers at night?
Mm-hmm.
Like if we had Craig on at night, for example?
Mm-hmm.
Or Stan Major? Or any of our other unemployed friends? I would say Johnny, but he just somehow... AM is just not his bag, okay? Although we still haven't figured out what his bag is. Yes. Is that mic on, by the way? It doesn't make any difference, but it would be nice if it was.
Do you want just the circled ones, or do you want all of them?
The circled one.
Just the circled ones.
Yeah, for now. I don't want to create a tremendous amount of work for you in there.
Important question. That was good.
Although the exercise will do you good. Let's see, 7 to midnight. Well, the FMs don't really count in that 35 to 64, so we're still kind of in limbo here. We have all of these wild, bizarre demographics. Okay, let's take another couple of calls to kill some time while we're waiting for the good stuff. Fort Lauderdale, hello.
Good morning, Neil.
How are you?
Morning, Bird.
Hi.
You had good ratings and you had great TV exposure, but you got something better than that. You got a left-handed accolade from Alice yesterday.
No.
I flipped over there on Scan, and this old geezer was calling to complain about the language that you were using on your show.
Mm-hmm.
He even listed the words and how many times you said them.
Really? In other words, he was counting them, huh?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like the show, but he sits there counting the words. Boy, that's a rich, full life.
He couldn't turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Alice said that eventually, after the shock fad wore off, you'd have to start working your show.
Yeah.
He said the fad may last either a couple of weeks, a couple of years, or decades, but it will finally fade.
Yeah, just like what Al's been doing, faded a long time ago, but he never stopped him from continuing.
Well, the funny part is, if you were writing this skit for Saturday Night Live, you couldn't have done a better job, because he compared your show to John Holmes' penis. He said, at first, it's shocking, but after you've seen it 100 times, and then he backed down, he said about 10 or 12 times.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Al has never seen John Holmes' penis 100 times, maybe 80 or 90.
Well, Ted Bundy might have been right. His ratings are taking a swan dive. It's because he's concentrating too much on John Holmes' penis.
Shocking, sir. Shocking. What could I possibly say to add anything to that Alice wouldn't get apoplectic about?
Well, you're comparing...
We just don't want Al's mother calling and getting hysterical, okay? Have a wonderful day, pal.
Yeah, keep going.
Enough said.
Yeah, it was shocking, wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
It's 11:32 at WID. I never really thought about our show like in relationship with John Holmes' penis now that he mentions that. We have an open line in Broward, 524-WIOD, 524-9463. What are these now? These, I got so many pages here. Maybe we could play My Back Pages by the Byrds.
Boy, those were the days, weren't they? We used to play that. What a great record.
Yeah, it's a great record, and I had to go out and buy it.
No, they don't have it.
Remember that? I had to go out and buy it for Zeta.
That's right.
In fact, when they decided to change format over there, which I have a feeling this could be the end, this trend here today, I could be wrong, but I have a feeling this is it. Please keep in mind, Rose and Dave and all the other people over there, that collection of CDs that I left behind that have my name on them. I mean, a tremendous number of them. Just for old time's sake, I'd like to have some of those back when you start playing Hungarian Rhapsodies. Hey, listen, you ladies out there, if you're going to start doing AM, who is desperate to know, wanted to find out the nighttime sports numbers, let's take a look, okay?
Yeah.
7 to midnight. Now, boy, we just got so many pages here. It's a mess.
This is traditionally when they have done the best in the numbers.
Yeah.
Has been at night with QAM and
Well,
sports.
first of all, he's 7 to midnight, 35 to 64. Nobody wants that. I think if I can find the men 18 plus at night, that would probably be what that person wants. But I just here's men 18 plus, but I've only got one page of it. Boy, this is so. I hope they're not going to have to put this back together again. I've only got the last page of it with OCN and our Rockin' Big Daddy. I thought I had men 18 plus at night. I don't have. Oh, here it is. For 12 plus, here's even better. Okay, this is everybody. Hot is number 1 at night with a 10.7. Power is 6.3. Life, W Snooze, a 4.7, down from a 5. That's the lowest number they've had. They're dropping like a rock. 6.5 down to a 4.7 in 6 trends. Winds a 5.1 to a 4.6. That's a drop of a half a point. Waxy, CMQ, EDR, QBA, Y100. Love, God, QBA, Wacky, TMI, WIOD 3.2 to a 2.6 at night, 12 plus. So that's where we had part of that. Well, we only dropped to 10 to a point overall, but that's where it was.
Right.
Plus on the weekend. GTR 2.5 up from a 1.9 at night. I'm still looking for, let's see, KISS had a 2, so your FM beat you. I can't find, who am I looking for? QAM?
The QAM.
Oh, here it is, a 1. 1.4 down to a 1, tied for 24th.
Oh, boy.
Out of 29 or 30. 30. QAM. Just didn't do it this time. Well, see, they were doing well in the summertime with the Mets. Look at this. They had a 3.6 back in August, September, October's trend.
I remember.
And they had a 3.4, then down to a 3, a 1.4, now down to a 1. They do have the Heat, but I just can't imagine the Heat are that big of a draw, in addition to which a lot of their games are on TV. 1. Zeta, by the way, at night from a 1 to a 1.3, so there's another big success story. Well, they got to have something, man. They got a little tickle in there somewhere. Okay, we have an open line in Broward, 524 WIOD. We got a mobile in Miami. Hello.
How you doing?
Hey, we're doing great today.
How are you this morning? I want to relate a story that happened to me over the weekend, on a sunny weekend last week. It's about the cable companies. I was sitting in my pool, relaxed, with my wife, and this guy jumps over the fence. And I said, I looked over there, and I said, can I help you? And the gentleman said, I'm from the cable company. And I said, oh, you are? Don't you knock? And he said, no, we're here to fix somebody else. Next door to my house, I had a problem with the cable. So our box is in the middle, and it's easier for me to get through my house because of the dog next door. So I called the cable company, and I don't have cable. I have a satellite dish, and I have a descrambler. So I have.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I've had it for a while, but anyways, I call the cable company, and I say to them, well, this gentleman jumps over the fence. He's like a thrack, this guy could have robbed anybody the way he looked, no shirt on or anything. He says, well, no, they could jump over, they can. They don't have to ask any permission whatsoever. And I think that's weird.
Yeah, that is weird, because if they're in the backyard, they don't tell you. Some people might start getting a little nervous.
Now, imagine if you were sunbathing naked or whatever,
Yeah.
Think about that. But anyway,
I am thinking about it, and it grosses me out just thinking about it.
Well, anyways, I do listen to your show, and I think it's a very nice show, and I've listened to you since WINZ.
It's a nice family show, that's
I'm
right.
a salesman, and I'm out on the road, and I don't put on the FM while I'm working, so...
well, listen, have a great
nice
day, and
to
say
hear
hi to the cable people for me.
Oh, yeah, sure will.
Okay.
Take care.
20 till noon at WIOD. We have an opening in Dade, kind of like Mount Vesuvius, at 751 WIOD, 751-9463. We do have a couple of pages. These are morning 18-plus people. This is adults, men and women. And the QBA, number 1 with a 6.6, AQI, Wacky 6.6. So that's 2 Spanish language, which nobody counts. And the IOD, Microneria, with a 6, down from a 6.5, but still number 1 of all the English language stations, so that's all that counts, okay? Because the stations that I always throw out are Life and the Spanish stations, okay?
Right.
I mean, Life is, what's the point of even talking about it? It's not a radio station, it's just Muzak, that's all. It's just slush music in the background that nobody pays any attention to. If you're an advertiser, you'd have to be off your rocker to be on Life, because there's no concentration. Nobody hears your message.
Background.
I mean, they could have 1 billion people listening, and it would still be meaningless because it's subliminal. I mean, if you're into paying money for subliminal advertising, there's a great place, Life, because it's in elevators and doctors' offices and the dentist, etc. Hot 5-3 up from a 3-2. Boy, Keith Isley did a number over there that's just incredible. They have just gone through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Morning persons 18 plus wins a 4-4 to a 4-5 about flat. Their morning generally stays about the same. They just can't drop too much there in the morning. GTR from a 3 up to a 4-2. That's Herman and McQueen, a big jump.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that's their biggest number on the whole sheet here.
Yeah.
Going back 6 trends.
Great.
Magic a 4 to a 4-1. Gloves, Greg 3-4 to a 3-6.
Mm-hmm.
A Waxy FM. Look at this, Rick and Spuds. See, now that we're off FM, some of those other people ought to be sending us gifts and frankincense and myrrh. They went from a 3-0 to a 3-7 on Waxy FM in the morning. How about Y100? I don't see them. Oh, there they are, from a 4-1 down to a 3-9. Well, Sonny was there part of that time.
Yeah.
When did Sonny leave? December.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Right after
End of
he was,
December.
Yeah, right after he was here, remember?
Right at Christmas time is when they parted company.
This
Nice
business,
Christmas gift from
yeah.
Y100 to Sonny Fox as a reward for all the great things he's done there. So they went from a 4-1 to a 3-9. They're beginning to show the drop, which I'm sure will continue over there. And who else in the morning of note? W Snooze, 3-1 to a 3-1. They were flat. Power, 2-4 to a 2-5. What? Zeta, here we go. Oh, geez. Now, this is a page that ought to be real interesting to look at, okay? This is persons 18 plus, and it goes back to June, July, August last summer when we had a 5-9 on Zeta.
Uh-huh.
Then it was a 5-6 and a 5-6. Then there was a month where the next trend we were gone part of it. It was down to a 4-2. Then we were gone 2/3 of the next one to a 2-9, and now that we've gone just about the whole time, 1-6 in persons 18 plus. So in 12 plus they had a 1-6, and in 18 plus consistent.
Yeah,
man.
they are.
They may not be good at Zeta, but they're so consistent it's frightening. Of course, when you have that few diaries, I guess it can't change much one way or the other, you know. They have turned the corner, ladies and gentlemen. We want to make an official announcement. We have turned the corner. It's like if you were traveling cross-country on a Greyhound bus. We have turned the corner. We're on our way to Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I think some of the people at Zeta might be on their way to Albuquerque, too, so you better pack your bags, okay? God, from a what did I say, a 5-9 to a 1-6. God, that's... Oh, now we got some interesting stuff here. Okay, thank you, Sharon. This is 25 to 54. Oh, this is men and women. Wait till we get the men, 18 to 34 and 25 to 54. I have a feeling we're going to do some serious butt kicking. Okay. This is 25 to 54 men and women. Magic, this is overall 6-2, number 1. Mm-hmm. Waxy FM, a 5-8. They had a big jump, and they're playing good music. Love, 5-8, went way up. What are you writing, Sharon?
I was just going to say, the male, they told me that they're not going to be men in this trend. They don't break it down. Only 18 plus, I think.
Oh, jeez.
Really?
How come they did... Oh, just for the book, huh? Well, the hell with them, then. Anyway, that's all right. Oh, no, wait a minute. We had men 18 plus. Oh, I see. Well, that's good because we're number 1 in that. That's good enough for us. Let's see. Where was I? Gloves, a 5-8. Greg had a nice increase. Again, those people there in the... Oh, that's overall. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
GTR, 3-4 to a 5. Kiss, 4-9. IOD from a 4-7 to a 4-9. The biggest number on the whole sheet that they've had in all these, probably ever, in 25 to 54s. Life... flat with a 4. Joy had a 4-8, down from a 5-9. EDR, 4-9 to a 3-7. WXDJ from a 4 to a 3-6 as that fluke month starts disappearing now. Boy, they had that 1 month in there. I don't know who had those diaries, but it was bizarre. Radio Mumbi, a 3-2. QBA, a 3-1. Y100 stayed flat with a 3. This is Monday through Sunday, 6 a.m. to midnight. Persons 25 to 54, which is that coveted demographic that most of us want. QBA 2-4, Power 2-4 down to a 2-2. Of course, they're big into teens, so to speak. She a 2-3 to a 2. Zeta 2-3 down to a 2-0. Isn't that a shame? Boy, they're taking a drop in there, huh? Up in the August, September, October trend, they had a 3-6, the all-time high, and now they're down to a 2. They've lost almost half of it.
I'll be damned.
In 3 trends, 3 months.
Shocking.
Wins from a 1-9 down to a 1-8. W Snooze 1-8 down to a 1-5, and I know this is boring a lot of you terribly. But tough cookies, okay? Okay, here we go. 6 to 10 a.m., 25 to 54, Magic 6-4, Waxy 5-7, Wacky, that's Radio Mambia 5-6, GTR 5-5, Glove 94 a 5-3, that's up from a 4-6, and that's without Donald, I think, or at least part of it.
Absolutely. Well, Greg, all of it without Donald.
Well, attaboy, Greg. Hot from a 3-2 to a 5.
Jeez.
Kiss a 4-9, IOD a 4-9, tied for 7th. in the morning in persons 25 to 54. Joy with a 4-5. Y100, 4-8 down to a 4-3 as the drop begins over there and will continue, I predict, for a time to come. CMQ, QBA, no speaking English there. EDR, 4-7 down to a 3-5. Life, 3-4 to a 3-2. WXDJ, 2-8 to a 2-7. Wins, 2-7 to a 2-6. QBA, TMI, et cetera, et cetera. Zeta, oh, gee. Listen to this. Should I read all 6 of the months here?
Please.
From
slowly.
back last summer, June, July, and August, which is the summer book when we were there, 7-6, number 1. Oh, gee. Then a 7-1 and a 7-1 when we were there, number 1. All 3 times in a row, all 3 months in a row, we were number 1, 25 to 54. Then we left 1 month of that, 5-0, down to 3rd. Then 3-5 to 13th. And now, without us all 3 months, down to 19th in the market, a 2-0. From a 7-6 to a 2-0 in 2.5 months. From 1st to 19th, dropping like a meteorite. Dropping like a gigantic boulder off Mount Rushmore, okay?
I've never seen it this quick.
From a 7-6 to a 2, from 1st to 19th. Not everybody can do that. I think the Colonel, I think we ought to have something special for the Colonel today, don't you? Like, that's it. Wow. Woo!
2?
A 2.
From a 7? Oh.
And the amazing part of it is when Gary Lawrence put us on Zeta, he said, we want 25 to 54. That's our target audience. And there we were, number 1 in that demographic, month after month, trend after trend. And in just 3 short months, the Colonel has taken the number 1 ranking and turned it to 19th.
Unbelievable.
Power, 1-8. She, a 1-8. Well, they beat She anyway, huh? RMF, WRMF, a 1-4. MVM, W Snooze, 1-7 down to a 1-2. Man, there's some of these geriatric stations that are dropping like a rock. That's our new slogan, okay? Everybody in the market's going to be saying, dropping like a rock. You watch, Steve will say that at least once today. You mark my words. EAT and KAT right there holding up the rear. KAT is last on the list. Midday, 25 to 54. That magic, man. We got to nail their butt. They got a 7-7 or number 1. WIOD, that's us. Midday, a 6-9. We're number 2. Look at this. Before we came here, it was a 2-1. Then we were here just a little bit of that next trend, a 3-1. And then a 4-5, and now a 6-9.
Jeez.
And still keep in mind, 2 weeks of this was Alan Burke, okay? So we got to be over a 7.
Yeah.
That's our thing. We're about a 7-1, 7-2, somewhere in there, 25 to 54. This is men and women. Just in men, we got to be doing over a 10. But that's not going to show up in this trend. We're too cheap to get those numbers. Waxy, a 6-6. Love, a 6-0. Love had a really good book. Joy, a 5-9. Kiss, a 5-4. GTR from a 3-6 back up to a 4-7. Is that Judy T?
Yeah.
Nice going, Judy. Life, a 5-1 to a 4-5, although you do a lot of dirty stuff over there on GTR, but it's good. CMQ, hot from a 2-4 to a 4-1, midday, 25 to 54. XDJ dropping like they should, 4-7 down to a 3-7. They're going to lose that ridiculous, like the listenership and that fluke that was in there. Y100, 2-4 to a 2-6. And Zeta, midday, 1-9 to a 1-8 and 25 to 54. Well, see, when you get down to those really low numbers, there's nowhere to go. You can't drop too much, okay? That's what Joey found for a while. She, a 2-3 to a 1-8, so they tied with Gonzer in midday. I have no idea who she has on in midday. WNWS, not so fortunate, though. They tied with CMQAM, which nobody can even hear in Spanish, with a 1-5, 21st in 25 to 54. But even worse, the 24th, WINZ in midday. Remember those days when we had a 7 on Wins just 2 summers ago?
God. And
Wins has now got a 1-1. Tied for 24th with WMBM.
Phew.
God. Nice going, Mark. Attaboy. That Mark Kuhn, man. He was also, if you look closely last night on that segment on Channel 7, when they showed the thing from WINZ, there was Mark Kuhn with a red shirt standing in the background. He and I had matching red shirts on, okay?
That's right.
Only the brains have been changed to protect the gilded. It's 11:50, 10 till noon at WIOD, and we'll be right back.
In Japan. Believable.
11:54 at WIOD. Now, we got 3 to 7, 25 to 54 is Magic with a 7-1. They had another, although they've dropped a lot. You realize they had a 9-2 in August, September, October in afternoon drive in 25 to 54? My God, that is a wild number.
That Ron St. John. Ron St. John.
Your A1A station.
A1A.
Your music way. Anyway, Love was second with a 6-2. Like I said, they had a good book. Waxy FM went way up. All the FMs seemed to take a little increase there. Now that we're out of their way, with a 6-1. What is this? This is afternoon drive, 25 to 54. Hot from a 2.9 up to a 5.4. GTR from a 3.3 up to a 5.4.
Great.
CMQ Kiss. Steve with a 4.1 in afternoon, 25 to 54, compared to Alice's 1.8. So Steve just squeaked by more than double the 25 to 54 audience of Alice. And, of course, if we only had that 65-plus listening, then we'd have something exciting for the W Snooze audience, okay? We shouldn't call it WOLD. We should call it KAT Revisited. We have an open line in Dade, 751 WID. I can understand why, because we're not taking any calls. Del Rey, hello. Del Rey's gone. I don't blame him. I would, too. Fort Lauderdale, hello. Nobody there. Pompano.
Hello.
Hey, a voice.
Yeah.
Sounds like a radio voice to me.
You're number 2 on all these. Who's number 1?
In what?
I don't know, all these various different ratings.
Life, WLYF, the elevator music's number 1 overall in 25 to 54 is Magic. Magic 102.7, your moldy oldie station.
And who's number 1 in the gay community?
Number 1 in the gay community? I think your show is, sir. We have 2 open lines. They're both in Broward, 524 WIOD. Okay, now look, you got to understand, some of the people over there in Carroll City are a little upset now. 524-9463. Miami, hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi. I saw you last night on Channel 7.
Wasn't it amazing?
It was amazing, and I am so proud of you. You look so thin.
I know. Did you see the old shot from INZ? I'm glad they put that in there. That's like a before and after.
Yeah, I work next door to you, so I pass you sometimes, and, you know, when you see somebody often, it's hard to tell how they're losing weight.
You work at the Big 7?
Yeah.
Well, thank everybody over there for the nice piece on us last night. I always expect the worst, you know. You get used to it. We've had so many hatchet jobs, but it was really, it was nice.
Yeah, he did a nice job. Dan's a good guy.
Yeah, and he's from upstate New York to top it off.
That's right.
That's why he's a good guy.
That's right.
That was my problem with
him. See, that's why I knew. I should have known it would be a great piece. If he was some like Mark Fisher, wherever he's from, or John DeGroot, it would have been a hatchet job. But anybody from upstate New York isn't out to do slice jobs.
Yeah.
Except me.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad. And I just wanted to tell you I'm pretty proud of you. My husband's on Weight Watchers. So I know it's pretty tough to stick with something long term.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I'm hanging right in there. I mean, it's very slow now, I'll admit, but I'm under the 200 barrier, and 35 pounds isn't chopped liver. I still got a way to go, but it's slowly but surely I'll get there.
It gets easier when you see it coming off, doesn't it? Isn't that good motivation?
Oh, sure, especially when they bring all the food in like they're going to do today. See, that's one of the big problems. I would probably be over 50 pounds off by now if it weren't for all the food that keeps pouring in here, but, I'm just not in a position to starve all the rest of these people. A lot of them haven't eaten in months.
What a host. Hey, listen, I found something on the wires I thought you'd be interested in. Delray Beach banned boom boxes.
Yeah.
Did you read that?
I heard they banned the boon in the box, too, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, they banned boom boxes. Anything that can be heard from 50 feet outside or 100 feet inside is now illegal to be played in Delray Beach.
Yeah, that figures.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And anybody whose pacemaker forces them to make a lot of noise while they breathe has to unplug it immediately. Listen, have a great day, and say again thanks to all our friends over there next door.
Will do. Take care.
Even Sally. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Yeah, even Sally will like us eventually. We'll just have to work on her. I don't know about Denise White. Maybe we can slowly but surely bring her back to reality. She's kind of tough to get to. She was brainwashed there for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. 12 plus midday. We want to know about how Judy T did as opposed to the Colonel on GTR. Well, let's see. They went up 3-0 to a 4-0. Okay? So they went up a full point in midday with Judy T. Colonel, it's just not his month, okay? We have these things that happen, Colonel. Just hang in there, have a wonderful life, and whatever you do, don't buy a house. In fact, I would, if you're in this business, the smart thing to do is like sign a 3-month lease when you rent a place. In fact, some of the places I understand you can go like month by month, like efficiencies. Okay? Efficiencies are good because then you can't accumulate a lot of furniture. You don't have to hire movers and pack and unpack a lot, so it works out really well. Okay, we have an open line in Broward if you want to join us in the next hour, and I have a feeling we'll probably take more calls than we did this hour, although we won't promise anything. It's the big noon to 1 hour. And there it goes. That Broward line is flashing. A lot of people saw the piece on 7. I thank them again because, it wasn't a tinkling piece. I mean, there were a few little barbs thrown in there and some caustic words to spice it up a little bit. But I think, and they gave Sonny Rosenberg all the time in the world to show America is behind. And I think he did a great job of it, too, by the way. Sonny's behind hasn't looked better in a long time. Anyway, we've got April Wortham, I believe, standing by in the exciting WIOD newsroom. April's got all the latest, and we'll come back with hour number 3 at 12:05. Steve with another one of his abortions from 2 to 6 this afternoon.
Would you like to read headlines like Dan Rather? Grasp world events like Walter Cronkite? Explain the news to the public like Peter Jennings? No? Then there's a training center just for you. The Bird School of Newscasters. The Bird School of Newscasters will teach you to relate the news on radio or TV in an unforgettable way. People will be talking about your newscasts all day after you grasp just a few pronunciation techniques. You'll be saying things like...
Harold says pull-out plans were ordered after new evacuations of the peace agreement suggested it may, rather new evaluations of the peace agreement.
What was it, evacuation or evaluation?
I'm sorry, it's
evacuations of the peace agreement?
And it will feature highlights from 1,000 secret tape recordings.
Mm-hmm. You'll learn to pronounce different government programs such as...
Not to chop Social Security benefits.
And keep the public aware of top world events.
And the CIA would have to assess the Contras or assist the Contras.
And the Bird School of Newscasters will assess you in pronouncing foreign terms.
Nuevo. Learn
the pronunciations of geographical areas like
1920s movie star and Kansas graduate Charles Buddy Rogers.
Kansas?
And other geographical areas such as Iran, Kuwaiti, Soviet Yum Yum, North Vietnam, Vienna, Australia, and cities such as Washington, D.C., San Francisco, and Penis, Arizona. Call the Bird School of Newscasters now, or write to Bird School of News Cancer, Post Orifice Box 10335, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, zip code 33000. You'll receive information on the School of Newscasters, as well as the School of Speechwriters, School of Poets, and the Bird School of Court Reporters. The Bird School of Newscasters, where we guarantee the lowest
prices.
Unbelievable, huh? 12:07 at WIOD. Boy, that's one of those things you've been waiting forever to hear again, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bob!
Yeah, it's all coming back, believe
Bob's
me. We've just
here.
been hiding a lot of this stuff in the background. Now we're going to really cut loose. Now that we're celebrating here today, it's 12:07 at WIOD. 2 people expired in Broward when they heard the Bird School of Broadcasting. So we have 2 open lines there. 524-WIOD. 524-9463. During the news break, I heard from Sonny Rocks, and Sonny has got a little laryngitis, but he'll be okay. Wanted to hear a little more about those morning numbers and how they're dropping like a rock at Y100, which we know they will continue to do.
Yes, they will. Drop?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, a little bit. Don't forget, he was only about 3 weeks gone out of this trend. You got to remember that.
It's already started to drop.
But it's already beginning. The flickerings are beginning. You know how that works. Okay, let's go to Duke in Fort Myers. How you Duking, Duke?
Duking okay. Hey, that was great. That was great. And congratulations to both you and the Bird.
Yeah.
And to think...
It's Bob!
And to think you guys are just having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not doing the real talk. That's what Alice says. They do real talk over there, you know, like KAT used to.
Mm-hmm. You know, that was a pretty weird spy report from from Alice. And after I got to thinking about that, you could name your show to the Blue Steel Throbber Show.
The what?
The Blue Steel Throbber Show.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Never mind.
Whatever you say.
Jeez.
Let him rest in peace, will you, please?
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
Okay.
Boy.
As a matter of fact, we do have a special show next Wednesday. It's called Members Only. Jim Stryker is going to be our guest. We have an open line in Dade County, 751-WIOD, 751-9463. And here's West Palm Beach. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I was talking to Steve Kane the other day about the old Greyhounds, you know?
Yeah.
And he says the people that, when they get old, they throw them off the bridge. Now, what kind of job is that? Can you answer that?
They throw what off the bridge?
The Greyhounds.
Off the
old
bridge?
Greyhounds right off the bridge.
Well, that sounds beautiful.
Doesn't it? What kind of job is that?
You'd have to ask Heinrich Himmler, okay, sir? Strange call. We have an open line in Palm Beach. Although I will say this, I heard a lot of that show, and I don't... Oh, that's Steve, isn't it? He's like... Which is good. It's good having him, like, way in the background.
You got it, baby.
You got it.
Boy, I missed him.
Anyway, it's 12:16 at WIOD. The only open line, of course, is in Palm Beach. So any of you others who are really desperate to speak to us, that's the one place you're always going to find immediately available. 655-9463. 655-WIOD. Boca, hello.
Morning, guys.
How are you?
Hey, Neil. Hey, Bert.
Hi.
Hey, listen, I got my family to watch your program last night there on Channel 7. You guys look great.
Well,
yeah,
it wasn't
especially
really
the bird, because we kept him hidden all the time.
Wasn't really our program, but okay.
Well, but it was really good to see you guys, and your new studio looks really tremendous.
It is. It really is. It looks even better when the food is in it.
Yeah, very impressive. I couldn't figure out who Fat Rich was there sitting to your right there.
Mm-hmm. Well, we wanted to do kind of like a before and after thing for Nutrisystem, and it worked out real well.
Now, you guys looked really good, and it really sounded excellent. You look good. You look like you lost quite a bit of weight.
Well, you keep saying that. We look good. We look good. Well, that's great. There are a lot of people I wish would say that, but never the right ones. You know what I mean?
Never the right ones. Yeah.
That's life.
And your numbers are real exciting, too. You know.
Yes, they are. They sure are. I'm concentrating. We shouldn't accentuate the negative. We should talk about how great our numbers were and the station overall and GTR. But, of course, it's a lot more fun to talk about Zeta.
Absolutely.
And WOLD.
I was about to say I had a radio accident the other day, and my finger drifted to the dial there and put on Zeta.
Oh.
And it was ponderous.
Yeah. What were they playing, the Birds?
No, they were just talking. It happened to be
Or was it the Doors? You know, I used to love the Doors, and I'm going to have a record burning over the weekend at my house.
As a matter of fact, it happened to be that one morning where they really were knocking you guys, and it was so boring and bad that...
well, let's send a little challenge out to the morning crew over there, get a little excitement for them. Maybe we can generate 2 or 3 people listening in the morning, which would double their cume. But, let's hear on Monday morning a little analysis of these numbers. The numbers didn't come out till 10, so they were already off the air. But Monday, they'll have digested all of this, probably a lot of Pepto-Bismol. And let's hear their analysis of this, okay? Because I'd like to know how they managed to do this in just 3 short months.
The Colonel said we were washed-up AM talk show hosts.
Yeah, we're finished, man.
Just sort of keeping the transmitter warm
We're
here.
done.
And now I look at his numbers, I look at our numbers, and it doesn't seem that way to me.
Well, I'll tell you, Neil, you made a very slight mistake before.
What's that?
You said that their numbers were dropping like a meteorite.
Yeah.
Actually, their numbers are dropping like a large meteor.
Mm-hmm.
Much larger and heavier. Drops much.
Dropping like Halley's Comet.
A huge, huge meteor.
Or is it Halley's Comet? They can't make up their mind.
No.
Those pseudo-intellectuals. Well, listen, have a great life and a good weekend.
Yeah, your show's tremendous. We really enjoy
Thanks
it.
a lot.
Keep up the good work.
Bye.
I have a feeling they'll be thrilled with the numbers.
Yeah, probably will.
Now, look, the last book, they tried to make an excuse. They said they predicted a 1-6, and it turned out to be a 1-8.
1-8.
Now it is a 1-6. So what are they going to say now? Oh, well, we knew it. We told you so.
Right on target, I
come
guess.
on, Rose. You just can't. Seriously, just from I know that Bill Wise wouldn't appreciate this because he wants them to stay at a 1-6 forever, which is fine with me. I don't want their numbers to go up, but I wish their music would be better. Because as a listener, when you're in that car and you're punching around, like I said the other day, and the music is as lame as it is in this market, you'd like once in a while to find them playing something besides CCR or the Doors, okay?
Well, they didn't want to be number 1, did they?
Or the Birds.
They were worried.
Well, that's true. Well, Tim Williams said we would like to be number 19, and I think that's... and, it's not easy. I don't know how you are number 19. I've never been able, almost 30 years in the business, I do not know how to be number 19.
I've never been able to do that.
I just can't figure it out.
So we got to hand it to them there.
It takes a lot of work, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like that Men 18 Plus, man, 8-8 that we did here in midday.
Ooh.
I just mentioned that again in passing.
Uh-huh.
Because that's a pretty amazing number, okay?
Well, compared to... Yeah.
Compared to some of the other numbers, okay? I don't want to mention any specific
No, I don't want to
numbers.
get specific.
Here's a mobile in Palm Beach. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
We're doing it.
How you doing, Bert?
Okay.
Barry. Hey, Neil.
Barry.
Want to know when we can bring down that low cholesterol pizza for you from Pizza Light?
Oh, jeez. Well, have to be one day next week, Barry. We got pizza coming from Jupiter today and food from Uranus and all over the universe
They're
today.
not opening till March 1st, so we'll do it.
Well, probably next week would be a little early then, I guess, huh?
That's right. But I want to set it up with you because it's low calorie and low cholesterol.
Great.
So you'll enjoy it.
Okay, couple of weeks. We'll be ready.
Okay, buddy.
Thanks,
Have a good
Barry.
weekend, Glenn.
Okay, Barry.
Take care.
Bye.
Who is that?
An old friend of mine, of course.
Is there anybody living who isn't an old friend of yours?
Well, I'll tell you his big claim to fame, and this will impress you. Barry, and he may still, but when I knew him, and I used to be...
Is he related to Barry Manilow?
No, when I was a film critic... Barry used to be the film critic for...
way off in the background. It's better than it is like when it's prominent, when you can hear it.
I like that. And muffled.
Yeah.
Barry used to be the film critic.
Sounds just like when Bob was on PLP over in Pinellas Park. Yes, Barry was for
the Hallandale Digest.
All right, one of our favorites.
See?
Attaboy, Barry.
See?
Good work.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we have an opening in Boca. If you move like lightning there, 278-9463, 278-WIOD, Miami, hello.
Hello there, Neil.
How are you?
How you doing, sir?
Great.
Listen, I'd like to congratulate you and the Bird and your third party there on a great show last night.
Our third party.
That was Fat Rich.
That was Fat Rich. He don't do anything on the show. Don't be congratulating him. He just comes here and eats.
Oh, okay. Well,
but I can understand, though, the impression you would get from watching that.
He's a great guy, and he's done a lot of great things for us, but he's not part of the show.
All right, let me put it this way.
Congratulate Johnny Dark, okay? He hasn't had any glory in years and years.
Again with his well, guess what? Hey, you're talking to Gene. Remember I called you from the Collier County Jail?
Yeah.
Yeah, guy. Well, hey, listen, like I said, watching you last night was, really exciting, I guess, because my kid come out and said, that sounds like Neil Rogers. I said, well, there he is.
How old's your kid, about 63?
Come on, man. He's not one of the blue hairs and the old farts that call that mayor up there in Hallandale or wherever, Hollywood. I thought that was funnier than hell.
Yeah.
But, anyways, the guy was talking about what they said on Zeta the other morning about, the old AM, talk show.
Washed up, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He said something about the droppings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's like, Zeta's droppings, like you were saying over the radio a little while ago, they're like chicken droppings all over my backyard. They really drop big time, guy.
Yeah, you can say that again. Looks like both of my puppies have been over there.
Droppings there are.
Yeah, well, listen, before we pursue that, have a great weekend and say hi to your family for us.
Well, listen, I'm going to accept that, say hello to my family. I got a big jet buzzing over me. I'm at a payphone down here in Sweetwater. And, like I said, y'all have a very fine one. And, hey, and like that guy said.
Say goodbye.
The Greyhound?
Yeah.
On TV last
Say goodbye,
night, the guy
please.
said
I'm
something
begging
like, you had a show on. You didn't
yeah,
know what, did
okay.
You?
Have a great one.
Have a good one.
See ya.
All right, hey, Bird, keep the laughter.
Bye.
Okay.
Woo. Wow. 23 past noon at WIOD. We have an opening in Dade, if you move fast now, 751 WIOD. Sharon has been a real busy child here today with mail and with all kinds of numbers. Oh, not this. Oh, no. For a second there, the color on that envelope was like this guy who used to... Remember at Wynn's, I used to get that one guy who sent me all that junk mail constantly.
Oh, sure.
Oh, man, every day, and we'd throw it in a wastebasket. People are starving, and this guy's wasting postage. Now, for all you radio people, don't kid yourself, they're all out there, believe me. Sonny Fox called me during the news break, and all the others are out there, too. We have got just tons of stuff. Tons and piles. I mean, piles... Even the people at Prep H would be overwhelmed by this. That's the kind of piles we've got here, okay? I mean, we got weekends, and we got mornings, and we got, you name it. Oh, here's persons 18 plus in the morning.
I like those
QBA and
numbers.
Radio Mom B, which don't count, tied for first, Espanol. So the number one English language morning show is Mike Ranieri with a 6 in the morning on WIOD, tied with Life, which also doesn't count. See, we just throw out the ones we don't like, and they don't count. That's the way I always do it. Hot with a 5-3 in the morning. Wins with a 4-5. GTR up from a 3-0 to a 4-2. Congratulations to Herman and Obscene. Magic with a 4-1. Y100. Here you go, Sonny, from a 4-1 down to a 3-9. And keep in mind that was only in a very short period of time, so they're going to be dropping like a tornado. Kiss, Waxy with a 3-7. Gloves with up from a 3-4 to a 3-6. This is men and women, 18 plus, adults, 6 to 10 a.m. W Snooze 3-1. Power 2-5. Etc. Zeta from a 2-9 to a 1-6. Hey, attaboy, Colonel. Attaboy.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, let me tell you about this 3 to 7 p.m. Life with a 6-8. Steve with a 6-2. So if you throw out Life, Steve is number one in men 18 plus in the afternoon. And I'll tell you, we're just doing it here. We are really doing it. Nighttime, Monday through Friday, 7 to midnight, men 18 plus. Life, hot. EDR, Gloves with a 4-5, Wins 5-3 down to a 4-4, Waxy, Wacky, that's Radio Mambi, No Speak It English, CMQ, IOD 5-1 to a 4-2 at night, 7 to midnight in men, TMI, W Snooze, boy, they're having some problems, old, what's her name?
Debbie Ellis.
Pardon me for being like Mount Vesuvius Ellis and Jerry Witchner, 4-3 to a 3-9, they dropped in just about every category, GTR 2-4 to a 3-1, Wonder how, who did it tonight. Oh, there they are. Zeta from a 1-4 to a 1-5. Well, there's a little story for you there. Look out. Look out on the streets, boy. They got a story. Miami, hello. Hearing this for the first time.
You'll love this.
Okay.
Everybody who's for abortion was at one time themselves a feces. So, and that includes all of you out there. You were once a feces. So we thank you, Mr. President, and now dinner will be served.
I don't have any idea.
Wasn't it great?
Somebody is speaking to the president for one of the anti-abortion groups. One of your people.
Oh, really?
Meant to say
It's embarrassing.
fetus. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I hope they're not, with all this food in the building, I hope they're not bringing any of those samples into bottles again. Oh, God. What?
This was worth waiting for.
Oh, I thought that's what you said. 10 past 1 at WIOD. It's amazing to see Roger back in the building. All week he and Raniere have been freezing their tails off out at Doral.
I bet.
And,
but you've been eating good.
They had an exciting weekend. Yeah, Mr. Nutrisystem in there. I've been hearing that's all Mike talked about all week is about how Roger's been eating 87 meals out there every morning.
Uh-huh.
And breakfast and brunch and another breakfast and a little lunch and all of that.
He looks happy. And full.
Yeah, he looks content, like Bossy the cow. Anyways, 10 past 1 at WIOD. Johnny Dark's here. Have a little, yeah.
I got weigh in today, too.
Do you? Oh, yeah, you better run fast, like around the building 20 or 30 times first. Okay, nice to see Roger briefly. Anyway, we have 1 hour to go here till 2. We're just kind of biding our time, having a little lunch. We thank Joe again for a tremendous spread. I have a feeling that our friends in Jupiter probably heard that we had all this coming today, and they figured we'll bring the pizza another day because it would be pointless to bring it on a day when we had all this other food, right?
That's what they should do.
And I am on my best behavior, believe me.
This is a feast.
I'm sticking with my fruit. I had a little chicken salad there with the honey mustard dressing. It was mouth-watering, sensational. And what should we do? Oh, this is Orlando?
Yes, Neil, hi.
What are you doing?
This is Eric, and I'm from Boca, normally, but I'm right now in the middle of Disney, so to speak, world.
Okay, let's straighten this out now for the audience. It's Eric, who is normally from Boca, but today is in the middle of Disney World with our general manager, Mike Disney.
I'm the one who always calls and wants you to make an appearance at Palm Beach Community College.
Oh, yeah, Eric. Boy, this could be a real short Orlando call.
Don't worry. I was up here, and I wanted you to know that I'm here, and I felt you should put a pin in the map.
Okay.
And also, I got some news that, I don't know if you knew this, but Gene Cashman is on She now.
That's right. Somebody else told me that.
Gene Cashman is on She?
Yeah.
Wow.
And also, the other day I was watching Morton Downey, and...
Boy, you're hanging out with all the big-timers, aren't you now? Mort Downey, Gene Cashman.
And Alan Burke.
And Alan Burke.
Yeah. On Morton Downey.
Oh, I saw a little bit of Alan on Morton Downey. Those two are just inseparable.
Yeah.
You know, Eric, did you know that Gene Cashman...
Oh, here we go.
...got higher ratings when she was on the Breakfast Club in the morning on Zeta than the Colonel got this time?
Yeah, the Colonel has a 1.6.
Can you believe it?
Yeah. We drove down to Tampa last night, and we passed by Lakeland.
Yeah? Did you stop?
No, we couldn't stop. It was late at night. But I did see some of the highlights on I-4.
Like? For example?
A sign for Lakeland and a sign for the municipal airport.
You know what I might try, Johnny? A little bit of that rice might be good. You know what I'm saying? Not the rest of that
those
stuff.
Those are the highlights, Eric.
I'm not paying any attention to what you guys are talking
tell
about.
Tell Johnny that I saw him on
like I said.
Improv.
On what?
On what?
On Improv Tonight one night.
Improv?
Johnny Dark was on Improv
That's
tonight?
That's not the same Johnny
Dark. Get out of here.
It was the Johnny Dark, though.
Yeah, I know.
There's only about 700 Johnny Darks, okay? Johnny Rabbit and Johnny Dark and Mark in the Dark and Mark Melody and Mike Music and all those other fake names.
Shay Michaels.
Okay,
Neil Rogers. Okay, great hearing from you. Have a wonderful life.
I just want to say real fast. Dr. Bukowski, you're a douchebag.
Okay.
Bye-bye, Neil.
See you, Eric.
That Eric,
boy, he is a piece of work. And then we have an open line in Palm Beach, 655-WIOD. By the way, has anybody seen Cheryl in the hallway? Where's my check, Cheryl? Where's my check? It's Friday. If ever a Friday comes I get paid without having to ask for my check, I'm going to go home and write it in my diary.
You go through this every Friday.
Every Friday. In fact,
it's single one.
We're having such a good time today, I think she felt that I would forget about it. Now, Cheryl, I brought you that stupid cassette yesterday. I took at least 30 seconds of my valuable time at home to W the cassette of all that stuff that you wanted. And I brought it and handed it to you personally yesterday morning, and I would have thought that you would have been in here with bells on with my paycheck, wouldn't you?
Yes,
and here it is. It's already 20 after 1, and I don't see. There she is.
Empty-handed, except for
no
food.
Check. Oh, will you get it for me? That would be very nice, because otherwise I want my tape back. Plus, she's eating our strawberries, too. If Cheryl's mom's listening, she's eating strawberries, okay? Even Humphrey Bogart never saw so many strawberries. Anyway, it's 1:20 at WIOD. Boca, hello.
Hi, Neil.
How you doing?
All right, congratulations on the numbers.
Thank you.
About Zeta, you know, that paramilitary morning show is sort of dropping like a paratrooper without a parachute.
Yeah. That's because they got a pair of losers on the show.
You're right. Oh, boy, puddles. Good day.
Okay. Good call, huh?
Yeah.
How come we haven't heard from Paul Harvey Jr. yet today?
Well, you got him nervous about calling in.
Good. Miami, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yeah.
Your number's unbelievable.
I know.
Say, I called you last week, and I asked you how you handled that crap with Hollandale and on and on and on. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about my dogs when you said how you handled that.
I have another
Very gently, believe me.
After the show yesterday I listened to, how do you handle the crap from these mung brains that call you all the time?
Well, ordinarily I pay no attention, though I must say yesterday was a little bit disconcerting. They were a little crazier than usual, but it's a full moon.
Yeah.
I have maybe a solution. When your day's going like that, if you just shot 15 minutes of Debbie Ellis in there when they started that stuff.
Yeah, that would straighten them out. You're right. Good thinking.
And then when they convert, they can take that useless material they got and send it to Colonel Douchebag, and it could help. What the hell?
Well, let me put it this way. It couldn't hurt.
It sure as hell couldn't hurt.
What's going on over there?
Oh, we're having a party.
Hey, it sounds like it.
It's a Neil Rogers. We also have one every Sunday.
All right, tell Bolger to calm down, okay? It wasn't that bad. Tell him it'll be all right.
Well, you have a good one, pal.
Okay, you too. I think we better get them off before anything dire happens there.
We are the fantastic Dushki brothers. Ronald, Clint, and Sylvester. Are you ready, boys?
Yo, absolutely. Yeah.
Ronald, are you ready?
Well, I don't know.
Let's all do the Glen Hill polka. 1, 2, 3, 4.
The bird is back and you're gonna hear him cackle. Hey, la, the bird is back. You read the news, but you can bet it won't be factual. Hey, la, the bird is back. The bird is back. He just flew out of his closet. Hey, la, the bird is. It's on your car. He will leave you his deposit. Hey, la, the bird is back. Yeah, you might say that he's a mum brain, but he ain't never stolen a freight train. Every time he reads the news, he gets himself in trouble. But Neil is always right there, bursting his bubble. Listen and see, the bird is back. And I heard that it's official. Hey, la, the bird is. But next week they're gonna send him to a Centuria ritual. Hey, la, the bird is back.
All right, let's hit it, boys.
I still haven't got it.
Harold says pull-out plans were ordered after new evacuations of the peace agreement suggested it may, rather new evaluations of the peace agreement.
What was it, evacuation or evaluation?
I'm sorry, it's
evacuations of the peace agreement?
And it will feature highlights from 1,000 secret tape recordings. And the CIA would have to assess the Contras, or assist the Contras. Nuevo. 1920s movie star and Kansas graduate Charles Buddy Rogers.
Kansas?
Yeah, the bird is back. Yeah. The bird is back.
One thing I will say, that goes on forever, doesn't it?
The bird is back.
12:37, music to eat by WIOD.
The bird is back.
Does this ever end?
Well, it's been a long time, yeah.
This is a long version.
Yeah, that usually does it. Okay, 128 at WIOD, and let's take a call if there's anybody still hanging through that. Miami, hello.
Hey, Bird.
Yeah.
Hey, that was a good show about you last night on Inside Story. I think I caught a glimpse of Neil in the background.
Yeah. I try to
know
keep it that way. I try to keep out of his way.
Yeah, and I didn't know you were bald, Neil.
Yeah. Not a hair on my head. Why do you think they call me Tweety Bald?
Oh, that's it. Hey, you guys know Carlos from Pembroke Pines, right?
We what?
Carlos from Pembroke Pines?
Carlos, yeah.
You remember him?
Sure.
Well, I like to call him a douchebag. He's a good friend of mine, and he's on his way up to West Palm Beach for the weekend.
Oh, is he? Well, listen, have a great time up there, Carlos. And leave 3 or 4 of the women behind, okay? Carlos he doesn't like to share. He wants all of them.
Yeah, I know. I know how it is.
Yeah.
I get stuck. Hey,
Well, we don't want to talk about that.
He's up there to meet some of his rich friends from Connecticut, you know?
Wow.
But, that's all.
That's why he doesn't talk to us anymore. We're not,
one thing, he's gonna
we're not impotent enough for him anymore.
You can get pissed at me, but a lot of times he calls and he doesn't tell you it's him.
Yeah, I know.
Really?
You don't recognize him?
Yeah, sometimes.
No, well, he always sounds so depressed. I don't want to unmask him in front of the audience. Probably go over the edge.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Carlos, if you're out there driving, have a safe trip and have a great life.
All right, I'll see you later, Neil.
Bye.
Bye.
129 at WIOD. We still haven't heard from Paul Harvey Jr., and we've had the ratings that come out, they've been just tremendous, and Zeta's ratings were in the toilet, and WOLD got so old that they're just about 2 feet in the grave, and everything's been wonderful. Joe brought this tremendous feast from Taft Street Rotisserie,
it was
and Johnny Dark was here dubbing all kinds of stuff on the cart that we couldn't dub because we have no place to work, and they're actually cutting my paycheck down there. Do you understand the thing?
What a day.
See, they could pay me like everybody else every other week, but of course, in my case, they don't want to have to put out one check that momentous. I don't think they could afford to cover it. So this gives them like a whole 2 weeks. You follow what I'm saying? To pawn a bunch of stuff and sell it. So anyway, they evidently decided they're going to pay me every week, which is fine. I mean, if they wanted to pay me a little bit every day or however they want to do it, I'm easy to get along with as long as I get it. But it's like every Friday, it's a major project. Isn't it?
Thank God it isn't every day.
And they're down there right now cutting it. If we listen closely... No, I mean the check I meant. 1:30 at WIOD. We got a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hi, Brian Carroll. We're going to 4 and they're brand new DJ. We get ones, we turn that corner, we play classic rock and roll. We don't play any new music.
That Brad over there, he's getting a little impudent, don't you think? On the Brad line.
Oh, don't even say that.
I know. When he
so
says that
horrendous.
on the Dave line and on the Brad line, I always think to myself, Colonel, you've had it, baby.
And
and obviously with these numbers here, the Colonel is really doing it, isn't he?
They're going to be so happy over there. I guess they're right on the number.
They've turned a corner,
1.6.
man. They've turned a corner. They got a number that they can relate to. And look, they didn't like it because we had that big audience anymore. And Tim Williams said to me, we'd be much happier if you were number 3 instead of number 1. And I looked at him like he was out of his mind. And the one great thing about it now, they don't have to worry about any gigantic, disproportionate, unbalanced kind of thing. Because now, right across, man, they're like right there at a 1.6. Gonzer couldn't quite keep pace, but he's always, a day late and a dollar short.
Yeah.
He's at a 1.5. But 1.6 almost morning, noon, and night. They're right across the board.
Well, congratulations,
And like
guys.
I said, if you can't be successful, if you can't be good, at least be consistent, okay?
And they did it. They
God,
did it.
1.6 like almost a straight line, or just a little wobble in there once in a while when one of the people with the diaries, you can't just sit by the radio all day. Once in a while you make a mad rush, and I guess it was during those periods of time. Well, when Gonzer's on, you get that feeling, you start getting that surge in your stomach.
Boy, is that the truth.
And you have to, run for cover.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, they're really doing it. We congratulate them, man. We knew they could do it. And, of course, if they want to borrow some other music now, if Pete's listening, and I'm sure he probably is.
Blasting.
We have, I loaned them all those CDs, but if they want to change, I have some incredible Chinese melodies that I'm sure that they would love to borrow, and it would be different,
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, I'm so glad we're out of their hair, though.
Yeah.
I'm real happy.
Yeah, I am, too. I don't like bothering people like that,
No.
1:32 at WIOD. I'd like to tell Johnny Dark about Nutrisystem right now. Johnny. Okay, now, I know Steve is tired of hearing this, but, there's some days when it just fits right in. We usually don't make dedications, but a special dedication to my dear friend Tim Williams and all the upper and middle-level management people over there in Carroll City. Nice job, well done.
Well, I was driving down I-95 the other night. Somebody nearly cut me right off the road. I decided it wasn't going to do any good to get mad, so I wrote a song about him instead. It goes like this. Were you born an asshole, or did you work it your whole life? Either way, it worked out fine, 'cause you're an asshole tonight. Yes, you're an A-S-S-H-O-L-E, and don't you try to blame it on me. You deserve all the credit. You're an asshole tonight. You were an asshole yesterday. You're an asshole tonight. And I've got a feeling you'll be an asshole the rest of your life. Talking to your mother just the other night. I told her I thought you were an asshole. She said, yes, I think you're right. And all your friends are assholes, 'cause you've known them your whole life. And somebody told me you've got an asshole for a wife. Were you born an asshole, or did you work it your whole life? Either way, it worked out fine, 'cause you're an ass.
I don't do my job as well when I'm constipated.
Tonight.
Do you think he stepped on him a little bit there?
That's
just
all
a
right.
little bit. Just
That's
a
okay.
hair.
Fine.
Okay, it's 1:40 at WIOD. Just a radio show, okay, Tim? I know you have young children and all of that, but just a radio show. Don't get uptight. Just like Alice. Man, gets so emotional. Oh, they're picking on me. They're trying to ruin my life, and my mother is hysterical. Oh. Just a radio show, Alice. Just because you're on a dying radio station with an audience that's all over the age of 500. Now... Oh, God. Now, you know how to hurt a guy, okay? You didn't hear Alice's numbers? Well, maybe you were listening on a small speaker. You couldn't hear numbers that microscopic through that little tiny speaker. Anyway, now I got to dig through this whole thing.
Well, while you look for those, I just want to tell those late tuner inners that Zeta Force Morning Show with the Colonel got a 1.6, which is lower than the number they had with Gene Cashman
rotten,
and Scott
man. You
Legier
are so
when we
cruel.
started over there. They had a 1.7. Now it's a 1.6 in the morning from our 5.5.
Let me just do these as we go along here. For example, men 18 plus. Just a minute, relax. Men 18 plus, 3 to 7 p.m. Boy, they got so many pages here, it's disgusting.
Isn't it great?
I can't even find the page anymore. Persons even 35 to 64, they bit the big one. They had a 1.9, Alice. He was 19th in the market, down from a 2.9. Yeah.
That means their whole audience is over 64.
Exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make to you. Persons 35 to 64, they're like invisible.
They don't rate over 64.
But now you should be fair. 1 hour of that is Sandy.
Yeah, that's right. Sandy probably brought Alice way down. Well, Sandy had a 3.2. Sandy, when we came here, Sandy was doing what, a 4?
In the 4s.
I can't find anything that means anything here, okay? This is also
Just
jumbled
calm
up.
down.
Well, I want to find the good stuff. Well, here's persons 18 plus, okay, 3 to 7 p.m. Steve got a 4. And Alice, not on the second page. We're down to the third page.
Uh-oh.
We just went by Zeta.
Oh, my.
Now, wait a minute. It's got to be on here somewhere. I mean, they showed up, didn't they?
Well, start at the bottom.
Here it is, a 3-2.
Oh.
In persons 18 plus. But that's as closest he comes to you anywhere. I mean, like when you get into the more reasonable living and breathing demographics, it's like they're non-existent. And I will find the 25 to 54 if it takes me till 3:15, okay? I will find it because it's just so interesting, as somebody who used to work here used to say. It is so interesting. Here's 18 plus. Man, you gave me so much stuff here, Sharon. It's just phenomenal. Oh, by the way, here's a check for Camilla's house while you're there. Thank you so much. Here we go, 25 to 54 afternoons. Steve had, if we can find it here somewhere on the page. I know it's here, trust me. Steve had a 4-9 in 25 to 54, which is outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that's the highest number you've ever had, I think, in 25 to 54.
That's a great number.
And Alice, not on the next page. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh!
Yes.
You know what would mortify me more than anything in the world is if Zeta beat me in some time period somewhere.
You're telling me Zeta beat down?
Wins had a 1-8. Zeta had a 2. Oh, that's the wrong category. I knew it. Just too good to be true, okay?
Yeah.
Boy, that really... Well, maybe he's not on any page here. Is that possible?
No.
Boy, this stuff is so bollock stuff, man. It's been brought in here in just sections and, like, all over the place. Okay, let's take a call or two while we're fishing around here. And while we're searching through just thousands of pages, jillions and tons, and let me just mention again, 25 to 54 in midday, Magic had a 7-7. We had a 6-9. We were number 2.
Yeah.
And that includes 2 weeks of Alan, pardon me for destroying Philadelphia, Burke. Did you hear my story yesterday about the GM and the sales manager both got canned because they were responsible for bringing him up there, and he's doing so poorly that they lost their job? That's a very strong rumor that we have from our Philadelphia sources. Alan is still working, but I don't understand it. I don't know. Mort down. He's keeping him alive. Pembroke Pines, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yeah, how you doing, Joe?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Great.
Well, I congratulate you for your numbers. You guys deserve it.
Thank you so much.
And I saw your little show yesterday, and I taped it, and it kept me...
You saw my little thing yesterday?
I saw your little show.
Oh, I see. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. 3 to 7 p.m., 25 to 54. Oh, I had the wrong number. Steve's got a 4-1, and Al has got... Just a minute now. Here's Zeta with a 2-1. I was right. They did beat him. Oh, no. Oh, my God, a 1-8. Even Wins beat him with a 1-9. He's got a 1-8.
Ooh.
Yeah, 1-8. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm telling you, he's dropping like an atomic rock. Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry. We're getting emotional now.
No problem. I can understand. Bird, I don't know what you're complaining about. They had a nice big 5-second thing on your face.
Oh, I'm not complaining, sir.
It was great.
You think they ignored me enough?
No. Well, if you feel you've been ignored, just go to Toyota of Hollywood with Neil, and me and my friends will come down there with a video camera, and we'll do a little piece on you.
A little piece on him, huh? Yeah. I hear that.
Mm-hmm. Steve still there?
Yeah, he's right here. He's eating.
Oh, tell him I can get his Woody Allen poster for him.
All right.
Well, we're going to be down there. Now, seriously, we're going to be there a week from... No, wait a minute. 2 weeks from Sunday? It's the 12th, isn't it? Mm-hmm. At Toyota of Hollywood?
Yeah.
Okay, 2 weeks from Sunday, the 12th, we're going to be... Steve and I will be back down there again. And, in fact, we actually might get the bird if somebody wants to get him some money for it.
Doubtful.
I'll pay him.
But don't wait that long to bring me the poster.
Well, see, they can't give me the poster until the movie comes out, which will be March 10th.
Well, that's great, because the 12th is when we're going to be there.
Okay, that's cool.
No, it sounds excellent. So you can bring us both something.
Sure.
If you follow
that stand-up thing?
If you follow my drift, Joe.
Yeah, I do.
It's just a joke.
Steve, do you want the stand and the poster?
Oh, yes.
There he is. He's trolling again on the air. He's trolling.
I'm trolling for posters. Stay out of my way. Yes.
I can get you both of them.
Super.
Okay.
We'll see you at the 12th.
Yeah. Neil, I liked everything about the show last night, except for after the last little piece of material you did, when you said have a great day and you like that.
Yeah, right.
The lady made sort of like a weird gesture, like a weird face.
Well, she's kind of a weird lady. What do you expect? No, it was good, though. I can't knock anything about it. It was a fair thing, compared to the last thing Channel 7 did on us with Denise White and Steve Dawson, where they just ripped us a new butt. I mean, this was beyond belief. It was great.
Okay, you guys have a great weekend.
Have a wonderful life, Joe.
Bye.
Bye. 147 at WIOD. Okay, it's 150, and I almost forgot this. An anonymous co-worker inside the building would like me to dedicate that song that we played a couple of minutes ago, the I-95 song, to Mike Luris of the WGTR sales department. Okay? So we just mentioned that in passing. It's 10 till 2 at WIOD. Steve with another one of his obsessive abortion shows with Merle Hoffman, who is Dustin's full sister, known as the female Bill Baird. Boy, I tell you, this gender thing, it's just, it's getting to the point you don't know who's what.
It's the
or
truth.
what's what.
I guess this is the new thing for the 90s.
Yeah. And, of course, we know it was started by Michael Jackson and his sister with the plastic parts. Wouldn't that be great? I think they're going to come out with a Jackson doll where they have all interchangeable parts where it can be Michael or it can be, what's her name, Latoya.
Oh, you build
or
them like the robots. You kind
yeah, it can be any of the Jacksons, okay? And it's got, like, mix-and-match parts. And if you want to really get cute, you can... Well, you can just conjure up in your mind all the neat things that you can do, but you could make Latoya with those big plastic, and then she could also have...
yeah.
Oh, God. Okay, let's go to Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
How you doing?
How you doing, Bird?
Okay.
Mazel tov on those ratings.
Thank you so much. And buenos dias to you, too.
Let me ask you a question. What can we do about getting you on these UM games? I mean, if I hear, it's not in the air, it's not on the ground, it's in the air, one more time, I'm going to go crazy, I mean, can we do something about that?
That thing was from, I think that was from a Yankee game or something, that part of that promo. No, it's not going to happen this season, I don't think.
Can we get you on the air, or is there any way we can
That's
call
what I
up
just
Mr.
said.
Disney?
Well, you can go ahead and call him. I don't think it's going to do any good, but, give it a try.
And that song you had on a while ago about my boyfriend's back, who was that in the background? It sounded like Ann Bishop in Heat or something.
Well, that's who it was. Ann was thinking about that Glen Rinker story that Craig told me.
What a story.
Yeah.
And congratulations and mazel tov on the TV show last night.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Goodbye.
Bye. Now, the Saltwater Cowboys, it says, this is the second day in a row they sent me this fax. All the guys in the band was wondering why you haven't played the song we sent that was delivered personally last week. I don't remember it, but there's stuff that comes in every day, and the problem is, the reason it hasn't been played yet is because I haven't had to listen to it yet, and it isn't carded up yet. Just like Jim Schuyler sent us a thing here today called the Bird in the Boon.
Yeah.
Which is probably sensational, like all his stuff is, and the Saltwater Cowboys are great. But it takes us forever. That's why we had to have Johnny Dark come in today so that he could steal one of the production studio, the production studio, for a period of time. So it's just these little things that prevent us from really doing the kind of show we would like, but we'll always have a little handicap. Wherever we work, we like to be, give everybody a little edge. Like Sandy. Oh, are you going to cart that up for us? That would be so great. So Nick is going to cart that up for us. Bird in the Boon.
He didn't
And we could have that for Monday, maybe. Yeah, I don't know what that other thing is with all the jingles on it.
But Bird in the Boon sounds
But
intriguing.
I bet you Mike in the audience,
You
I bet
wanna
you
play
Mike
it?
would love to hear this. Oh, we can play it right now on the thing there, and then
Before
you
we
could dub
leave.
it for us if you would please.
Oh, that would
Pretty
be
please
great.
do that. Anyway, it's 1:53. Here's a call from Boynton Beach. Hello.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you?
Great.
Listen, I called you about a month ago. My wife was listening to you while she was in labor on the way to the hospital.
Really?
Remember Amanda Christina? And, boy, she was almost born listening to you, and I want to let you know she's the happiest baby we've ever seen.
Well, that's great.
So we'll try it again the second time around.
Okay.
Secondly, last Friday I called WPBR to Jim Ackerman. And I had a call. He was on something about free speech, and I called and I said, there's a radio station down south that's having problems with that. And instantly he said, you must mean Uncle Neil. And I said, yes, sir. I said, yes, sir, let me tell you something. You are all a bunch of hypocrites here. And I just went on, and guess what he said at the end?
What's that?
My friend, stay serial, and it's getting ponderous.
Oh, no.
That's exactly what he said.
Good heavens.
Wow.
So next time you get a chance to let him have it, by all means, let him have it.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen, have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
You believe that?
Boy, those Palm Beach guys.
Those Palm Beach people, man, they're really originals up there. That Lee Fowler and all those. They are really something. That is some kind of radio market, okay? Anyway, Tuesday we got Tom Jicka coming on, and the trends are all out here.
Yeah.
And what else just happened? Tom was on that show last night, which we haven't even mentioned.
Right.
Tom, we thank him for his usual
interviewed him.
Wonderful comments, because you all know that Tom and I have that incestuous relationship that goes back years. And, and there are all these sour grapes in the business. How come Tom is always saying these wonderful things about Neil? How come he's always... Because it's a great show, okay? That's the answer to the question, because Tom has excellent taste. It's a great show, and we, do, knock on wood, very well. And we thank our loyal audience out there for, again, coming through, man. It's just like in no time. We brought them, dragged them over here.
Yeah.
And we did a 5-8 and 12+, and in 25 to 54 we did a 6-9.
And we're washed up?
And
Really?
we're washed up, and
Oh,
the Colonel did a
damn.
1-6.
Let's hear
Have we
Bird.
got that thing ready? The Bird and the Moon? No, we don't have it ready yet. Oh, it's bad?
Ooh. Oh, my.
Oh. It wasn't just like regular bad. It was like odious.
Yeah.
Remember Paul Anka and Odious Coats? Remember that record?
Yes, I do.
Well, evidently this was in that category, as Nick
too
said.
bad.
So we'll just kind of like hold it in abeyance for another station, I guess. Miami, hello.
Oh, Neil?
Yeah.
You know, talking about Glen Rinker, I'm calling you from this office, and I got these rug burns on my butt. And I have these whip welts on my back. And she's coming for me, Neil.
That
Ann is just a piece of work, isn't she? She is something else. No, you don't know the truth, but that's really Walter Cronice in the background. What is this? Why are you bringing this to me? What does that mean? April just brought me this supercilious. Why are you bringing that in here? Bloomers. Oh, I couldn't read that. It says, oh, isn't that cute? Bill Wise. Oh, my God. Yeah, if I wouldn't have seen that, it wouldn't make any sense. I thought that April was going through a second childhood. Look at the little kid there on the far right under where the caption says Bill Wise. Now, if that isn't the spitting image, he's got that same stupid grin on his face that Spike always has, too. And they... Boy, oh boy, that must be, you know how we have that cart Young Neil? That must be from Young Spike.
Oh, God.
Doesn't it look exactly like him?
Exactly.
That is shocking.
Image,
it is shocking is what it is. Okay, should we take one more? I don't think so. Now we got a mobile in Coral Springs.